All right, Bonza, welcome to anyone out there listening. This episode, we'll take a look back at the 2025 Blazing Swan Cosmic Coincidence event slash burn slash gathering slash not a doof slash festival. We'll reflect back at some of the things that went right or wrong and some of the improvements for next year, for next burn, some highlights and the magic moments and the controversies and the community learnings. With me, I have Nina, George, and Vida. Now, before I ask you guys how was your Blazing Swan, how was your burn, did any of you guys actually mention next year was better to anybody? Because if you did, it was a self-fulfilling prophecy. It came true.
I
I
didn't,
can't say I did. No.
but now that you've said it,
Because next year
I'm
was always
totally
better.
gonna.
So how was your
Absolutely.
Blaze? How was your burn?
Well, my burn was wonderful. I avoided all the sound camps. I zoned out wherever I could. I did a bit of rangering, and I walked around naked when the temperature was right. And to me, that's all I look for in a burn, just to be myself.
George, I saw you with clothes on a fair bit this year. weird.
Yeah, when it's too sunny, I burn. So there were times when I had an umbrella and I didn't have clothes on.
Well, let's start talking about the weather this year at Blaze. How was it? And compared to previous years, was this one of the best?
Fucking perfect. It was
It
the
was-
best we've ever had. I can't stop raving. It was amazing. There were no flies. There were no double G's. There was no dust. There was no rain. There was no hot. There was no cold. It was perfect.
Yeah, it was bloody amazing. Although we did have a hailstorm the week before everybody arrived while we were setting up. But during the event, the rock turned it on for us. It was perfect.
No, I have to agree. The wind is generally the killer out there in the desert. And this year, I thought the wind behaved itself impeccably. It was just wonderful.
It was like a pleasant little breeze. It was like
Yep.
not Blazing Swan weather-wise.
Exactly.
It was bloody cold at night though, but unexpected.
It is late April as well, so yeah. Let's talk about your roles and your community participation at Blazing Swan. You guys are long-standing members of the community. Let's start with you, Nina.
Yes, I was not like a founding member or anything, but I've been to all of them. The first year as a very, very mind-blown punter. And then since then, I've done a bunch of stuff. I don't really build things like some of our other panel members, but I organize. I cat herd. So I've been rangering for a few years. I've done greeters. This year I organized the event app that we've been using. Previously I've done the What the Fuck guide. I used to be the theme camp manager, a whole bunch of stuff. I helped organize the Ranger Camp this year. And I also run the best event at any burn in the entire world, Ask a Drunk Scientist.
And the can you explain to the listeners out there what is the Dust app, the guide that people use for the events?
So it's an app developed by a guy named Damien, who is Australian, but for some reason lives in Nevada. So he developed it for the Big Burn, the Nevada regional. And then he's offered it for free as a gift to any other regional burn that would like to use it. So it's an app specifically developed for burns, and it works offline. It's free, blah, blah, blah. It has a fair bit of functionality in that you can add all of the events, the theme camps, your art pieces, that sort of thing, and a map so that you can geolocate. Discovered this year, you can broadcast your location from an art car so that people can hunt you down. So we've used it, kind of trialed it last year and then used it this year for the events because we're still working through whether that's a better way to do it than a printed guide. I think it's brilliant. It just does have the drawback that you would have to carry your phone around to look at it. So it does, for some people, really impact the principle of immediacy.
I just wanted to ask a question about it. I tried to get on the Dust app this year a couple of times, and I feel like there was so many phones trying to access it. Did it stop functioning at some point?
So it didn't, and I only know this because I had the exact same problem, even though I am the Dust czar. The problem is if your phone is on because you have Telstra and every other year it works, Dust is trying to update. So if you turn your Telstra phone on airplane mode, then Dust functions. It took me like 4 days to figure that out.
That's what was going on. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like
I don't know that now.
People with no mobile service were fine, and those of us who actually have Telstra were not.
Wow.
Classic.
Next year's learnings.
So what was the feedback? Was it very popular? People were using it. It helped a lot of people out.
My feedback's entirely like anecdotal. So, the randos I spoke to, everyone loved it. I have spoken to other leads in the organization who had different anecdotal feedback, who said people really don't love it and they want a printed guide because they don't want to carry their phone around. We tried to alleviate that issue by putting a PDF of the events on the website. So if you don't want to carry your phone, you can just print it out. But comms were tricky this year, I suspect, because the world has stopped reading. So I don't know. We haven't done like a proper feedback or anything, and I don't even know how we'd do that because people don't read. I really can't answer that in a scientific manner. I heard great things, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, so did I. I read some great things on the forum as well. And Vida, would you like to talk about your role and your involvement, Blazing Swan?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Like Nina, I've been going since day one, inception. So for the first 5 years of Blazing Swan, I was the camp lead for Camp Koasis. And then I came across the org, joined the committee, did a year on the committee as an ordinary committee member, and my background's event management. So I kind of got involved with event management on site from that point. Did a couple of years as the chairperson of Blazing Swan. And then probably the last 3 or 4 years I've been site managing. And then the last 2 kind of doing all the planning and event managing organization for the event. So yeah, pretty big role. a lot going on in that space. It's been a big learning curve this year. I feel we did really well in that area, but yeah, always curveballs and ways to improve and new problems and having to think of new solutions. I never get bored anyway.
Cool. And for you, George, what's your involvement?
I started Blazing in 2016. Oddly enough, we were on a nude cruise on the Swan River, and we'd come across a couple of Canadians who'd just come from a blaze, and they were telling us all about this wonderful festival. Because they were nudists, they were able to express themselves with their nudity, and I thought, well, gee, that sounds wonderful. We'll have to go next year. So we did, and that was 2016. And we've never looked back. I love the Blaze experience. I love the community. I love the fact that nobody judges us. In the default world, I was a corporate lawyer working for the government, and I can tell you, judgment happens every single hour of every single day. But at Blaze, there's no judgment. It's just all love and acceptance. And on that note, I was not a physical hugger or a person who is able to show any kind of that kind of emotion. But on day one, we got greeted by about 20 people, and after your 15th hug, hugging becomes like second nature. And in that first Blaze, I think I hugged about 200 people, and now all I do is hug people. In fact, as Rangers, we incorporate the hug as part of the development and proliferation of our social capital. So I joined the Rangers in the following year. And I've never looked back. I love rangering. Because I'm older, and I've got a lot of world experience, but not much festival or Blaze experience apart from participating. So I love the fact that I can look after everyone there, and they're like my kids. I love them all, and especially Vida. I see Vida everywhere. Look, I feel blessed to be amongst Blaze royalty, watching Vida on the screen here and listening to her talk. I was in awe of Vida's abilities as an event manager. She's just everywhere at Blaze, and I feel like a fraud in this podcast when I'm competing with people like Vida and even Nina. Everyone loves Nina. Nina's she's the adorable person at Blaze. Everyone calls her adorable, and everyone loves Nina. Everyone knows Nina, and everyone knows Vida, but not everyone knows the naked Ranga. So
if I could just interrupt that, Georgie. Everyone knows the naked Ranga. You are a much nicer person than me. Every fucker out there loves you. You've served on committee. You've also served as theme camps. You were also the lawyer counsel for Blazing Swan. Stop downplaying your contributions.
No, I agree with Nina on that.
Without Vida, we wouldn't have a party, would we? It wouldn't be a Blaze.
Totally true. I'm just saying you're awesome too.
You would. It just wouldn't be as good.
And
So
this
are
year
there any
it was great.
yeah, are there any operational talk that we can share, stories or behind the scenes stuff, Vida?
Behind the scenes stuff. Oh, well, I could tell you guys that
Like when do you guys start actually arriving there and building and packing down all that stuff as well?
oh yeah, well, yeah, to be honest, the whole build and pack down is where I have my fun. During the event, I feel like I'm just working. Like I might get 1 or 2 days off, but I'm always worrying about these 3,000 people that anything could happen. And then, we might have to implement our emergency planning and deal with some hard incidences and situations. So during the event, I'm always kind of a little bit on guard and a little bit, I guess I don't relax so much. But during the setup, when there's like 30 to 50 to 60 of us there and we're all building a thing together, that's my real time to shine. And we build a little family. And by the time everyone gets there, we just actually want them all to go away and leave us to our family that we've created. No, love when everyone arrives, but also slightly resent having to line up from a meal at the kitchen after being fed first for 3 weeks. But yeah, it's a real experience. This year, having all the Irish guys build the temple was really fun. That added a good little bunch of excellent Irishmen there. Lots of laughs around the fire every night.
Did they bring the crack?
They always bring the crack. Yeah. They definitely brought the crack.
They
had to go out there for quite a few.
They cooked toasties with irons. They brought the crack.
They're amazing. And yeah, they were on the Magical Frontier as well, which I have to say is my new favorite theme camp. I absolutely love that place.
So good.
But yeah, and then pack up. Yeah, behind the scenes is the funnest bit for me. I can tell you a little stat that I heard from the policeman last week. I don't know if you guys know. Well, you probably do, but every week our whole festival gets breathalyzed and drug tested on the way out. Not one person came up positive on the whole way out of Blazing Swan. So that's an amazing little tick for us as far as our event presents to the bigger community. So that's pretty awesome.
Is that from some kind of work from the Exodus team?
Yeah, so we've got a new team that kind of started this year called the Levers, and their role is to just check on everyone on the way out, kind of like the greeters on the way in, make sure, they've had enough sleep, they've had something to eat, they're feeling okay to leave the event. And, obviously that work paid off this year, and we got some kudos from the local cops about that. But, yeah, we're just going to make a little bit of a plan to maybe have some coffee there as well and keep improving on that, because that's obviously made a big difference. Oh, and we shut everything down at midnight the night before, which some people aren't the happiest about, but it ensures that everyone gets enough sleep so they can leave safely the next day. So I think that definitely helped that situation as well. But that's just one of those little things I'm quite proud of this year.
I'll also add, I was helping out the theme camp team this year, and you're right, a number of people weren't thrilled with that decision, but I think once it was explained, they all understood, why the event team said that. And I think most people are cool with the shutting at midnight the night before it ends.
Yeah, well, I mean, theme camps can just shut their doors. They don't leave for another day. They can just shut
I don't know what
and have their own private parties. I ended up in Camp Koasis at midnight because I wasn't ready to go to bed yet. But
I went to Afters and Moe's. It was fabulous.
Yeah, so we managed to find a way around it, but the 1,500 kids had to all go to bed.
Yeah, so what are some of the stats from this year's Blaze? 1,500 kids, over 3,000 people.
Yeah, I think we actually
54 theme camps altogether as well, and you had over the participation rate this year was quite high, so it's good to hear.
Yeah, I think it was over 500 volunteers, which is amazing. So yeah, basically volunteers and theme camps usually equal about half of our total. And then we're actually 3,300 this year, so a good 300 more than previous years. So we are growing, which is exciting. Yeah, but 54 theme camps, awesome. A bunch of new theme camps. Like the graveyard came out of nowhere, built a double-story scaff deck, lake
They were
view,
amazing.
massive.
Was
they
it
also...
Is it a sound camp?
Yeah, but they also did a lot of interactive day stuff. It's the graveyard, so they did tombstone painting. They had a scavenger hunt around site. And the guys and girls, the people running the theme camp were just lovely. They were really looking out for everybody who entered their space. They were just delightful. And yeah, that structure was sick.
Yeah, I was so impressed by their whole vibe. It was awesome.
And they're brand new, so that was cool.
And there were more varied mutant vehicles as well, and art installations around.
The mutant vehicle numbers were high, but I feel like a lot of the mutant vehicles that have been coming forever. They just, finally properly registered, which is great. But there were some cool new cars. The mutant vehicle lead rehabilitated a broken piece of crap from his yard into a super cool space crab shuttle. So that was nice. Yeah, there was good art as well. I think there were more theme camps than last year and maybe a bit less art, but the art was really good, I'd say.
Yeah, I feel like the art wasn't as much as last year. I agree with you on that. Last year, I feel like for the 10th anniversary last year, everyone just really went all out, and maybe people were a little bit burnt out from that this year, and it went down a little bit, but it'll come back, no doubt.
The Shart Gallery was pretty cool, though. It's like an
art gallery. Art installation?
Yeah, it was an art installation, so it was an art gallery, except it was shart. It was shit art, shart. So it was like a little house you went into that was an art gallery, and all of the art on it was shart. It was hilarious.
Yeah, I perfectly timed my walking past at the temple burn for the opening, and got some wine and cheese and enjoyed the art. It was great.
Oh, I missed that.
Super cute.
And George, you're also involved in a theme camp yourself.
The
library.
In the second year that we went to Blaze, we joined John Mack, who's he's the smartest and nicest, most decent chap I've ever met in my entire life. He loves books. He loves everything about books. And my wife, Kweeny, is exactly the same. So those two hit it off from day one. From our first Blaze in 2016, she fell in love with the library. So she got us to join John in 2017. And since then, we've presented the library every year apart from the 2 years of COVID and the small burn. When was that? 2021. So yeah, the library has been bigger and it's been smaller. Next year it's going to be even bigger. So yeah, we were energized after this year's Blaze. We had a lot of people come through, but because we only had the one tent set up, we had a lot of people that we had to turn away. And so we took a lot of heart from that. So we're going to try and put a bit more effort into it next year. And it may mean rangering less, or we build a bigger team. We only had basically the 5 of us this year. And we probably need someone a bit younger who can carry books. I mean, there's 3.5 tons of books we have to move in and out of the sea container. So it's, and I'm not getting any younger. It's a bit of a physical effort.
I was
That
going
is
to
the
ask you
heaviest
that,
sea
George.
container on site, George. It weighs
Is that right?
tons.
Yeah, I'm not.
And the
wow.
Frano struggle.
Is that right?
Like you have,
You might have to get
these
digital.
guys have an entire sea container literally filled with books. And as
Yeah,
George says, there was only one pretty large bell tent to present this year. Like, how do you pick which books? Do you just show the ones that are at the front?
John's he's very good at curating books. He has a real sense about what people might want to read, and what he does is, as someone comes into the tent, he engages with them in conversation and talks about what books they're looking for in particular. And bugger me if he doesn't wander into the container and come out with the exact book that this person's asking. I don't know how he does it.
Oh, you
to me, they're
restock
just
from the
books and-
container. Okay.
Yeah. So we were constantly restocking from the container. You know, he's got another 10,000 books at home
Yeah,
in
cool.
Albany, and we've got 5,000 here. So there's probably only about 5,000 or 6,000 books in the container, and we only put out about between 1,500 and 2,000. So yeah, there's a lot more capacity. So the library can get bigger and bigger.
Is it called the library? Or
No,
is
it's
it
called bibliophilia, which sounds like a cross between a library and people fucking
Necrophilia?
books. I don't know. Just a bit like that.
Yeah. I was
They-
wondering where that new name came from. It was
Y'all
good
changed the name,
explanation.
3 years ago, and the larger community has just, refused to get on board.
I know. I mean, we were called the library, then we were called the Gillican Rock Library, and I mean, we've had lots of different names. But yeah, I think.
But I do like.
Sorry.
Yeah, I do like the library being there as well as the post office. You need these community services.
The post office is brilliant. I love the post office.
It just adds community towards the whole site.
Absolutely. So. We had two of our camp went to the post office to get mail that they'd left for themselves last year, and I just thought it was lovely. I can't believe that they hung on to all that mail, and there it was all there. You just go and select it, and you read a letter that you wrote to yourself a year ago. Just incredible. There's so much energy in that camp, and they're all beautiful, beautiful kids. I love them all.
Yeah, speaking of how beautiful they are, a bit of controversy this year with them doing the halftime show at the Grundy Walk-Off, and then that being so popular that one of the girls ended up actually winning the Grundy Walk-Off from the halftime show. Controversy, outrageous.
Wow.
Probably because it's the first time y'all have let girls compete.
Yeah.
That's my controversy. Sorry, not y'all. Yeah. You don't run that camp anymore.
No, but I agree. I think that was controversial, but I think the girls did well, obviously.
Yeah, see, that's something that I can't do. I don't own any underwear.
George, most people who do it make
don't wear
costumes or don't wear underwear.
It's all about strutting. It's not what you're wearing.
No, I understand. My strutting days are over.
One of the things I loved was the group photos, the group shots. There was plenty of them I saw. Were there any intercamp shenanigans and fuckery that you heard of that you can share with us?
There was definitely some of that.
Oh, yeah. So I did not arrive until 2 nights before the event opened. So probably Vida knows more of how this happened, but apparently House of Orb and the Church of Deliverance have continued their flame war. The only bit that I saw is when somebody had stolen the doors off the church, bolted them onto the house, a crane got involved, and then it ended up with an orb burning in the embers of the church that somebody cooked an omelet on.
Whoa.
None of that'll make any sense to anybody who wasn't there.
Yeah, so I know a little bit more of the history. So the orb stole the church doors last year, but the church didn't even realise until they arrived on site this year to start building the church. We were all looking everywhere through the compound, through the site, trying to find the doors of the church because we've been storing it on site. It was a long game. Yeah, so eventually we figured out they weren't there. Meanwhile, the orb has them hostage and had built a little mini house to mount the doors on to present to the church as a prank. So yeah, they built the little mini house in the middle of the night one night and mounted the doors and then got our crane driver to drop it right in front of the church the next day. Obviously, this was horrifying to the church, but at least they'd got their doors back, that they proceeded to graffiti profanities all over the orb structure. And, they took their doors back and then got the crane driver to then deliver the house next to their theme camp, which was down in Sound Camp Alley, and continued to graffiti the hell out of it. However, the mini house that the doors were mounted on was not an approved structure. So we allowed this all to go on before the event started, but then we made the orb pull his structure apart before the event started because it wasn't approved and it was a little bit big. But
but could we be fair? Joke. Let's be fair. The church started this shit last year, to add my profanity. They stole the orb. They hoisted it on a crane. They have video of somebody having relations upon it, and then they hoisted it up into the air so Orb couldn't get it back. And I am pro-church in this instance. Just saying, they started it.
Absolutely. It was hilarious. And there was also a lot of just camps stealing each other's mascots. So Koasis did their classic Rub Punch Monday, And but on Sunday night, an up-and-coming member who was trying to get in, or a general camper that wanted to earn their stripes at Koasis, was sent on various missions to get the mascot of other camps and bring them back to Koasis. And then Koasis gang mounted all of the mascots on the big container wall in the beer garden on the day of Rum Punch Sunday, and Grundy walk off and proceeded to have a big party with all the mascots on the wall.
Is that why somebody stole the Koasis camel then, as like
yes.
revenge?
Yeah, as if was bound to get violated.
Yeah,
and so that also, and that's not the first time, and probably won't be the last. But yeah, it was actually in the end, I thought good promotion for the other camps having all their mascots on the wall for the big party day at Koasis. Anyway, fun and games, loads of it.
I hate to keep talking about the church to whom I am not a member, but you did ask after pranks, and my favorite this year. So the church has been a camp for a very long time, and they've been threatening to build their church for a very long time, and we all kind of just figured it was never going to happen because they're full of fucking shit. But they did actually burn it this year, and so unnamed people, decided that before that happened, we had to recreate a previous prank from years past. And so a blood-covered decapitated unicorn head was in fact staple gunned to the church doors before they burnt it. And it made me very happy.
Love how pranks just go on for years and years, especially with the church.
It was years ago. It would have been 6 years ago this started. They thought it was funny, to be fair. It was all in good fun.
No, the prank started in 2000.
And what are some of the highlights and favorite workshops or events that you guys remember?
Well, I work too much. I never see anything, so let
my favorite is every year we used to run a mass nude shoot, and we started up on Canut Rock, and we'd get about 100 people up there, and most of them had never been naked in a public place before, and it was just sensational that at 10 o'clock on the Thursday morning, it's fresh. People are just arriving, but they get up there and they just open themselves up to everyone. It was just wonderful. It's been too hard for us to organise it in the last couple of years, so we've handed it over to Nimrod. And this year he took, I think, about 70 or 80 people out onto the lake for the mass nude shoot. So you won't see any of those photos. You've got to be a participant to be able to subscribe to the photos. But it's just such a communal, fun time. And no stress, and everyone looks just amazing. It's just all this sea of pink on the white lake. It's just incredible. Words can't describe how beautiful it is and how uplifting it is for especially for old time nudists like us. So yeah, to me that's.
You guys are afraid of the cold out there at all, or the wind in the Salt Lakes?
No, I can get naked down to about 10 degrees. It's there must be a bit of Viking blood in my family. It's all good. Body parts don't look so good. There's a lot of shrinkage, of course. But I always say to my wife that a bit of cold makes the female form look 10 years younger.
If I could nominate my favorite event, which is in no way similar to that, I don't know if you guys made it to the Bureau of Bureaucracy, which was a new camp this year. Some old-time Blazers started a new camp to basically just take the piss out of office jobs. And I didn't know how this would go because I work an office job, and I was like, I don't want my day job on the paddock. But it was brilliant. It was the funniest thing I've seen in years. And they ran this event, which I dragged myself out of bed for. I was violently hungover. I was in like the roughest condition I've ever been in. And I was like, I don't care. I'm going to this thing. I have to go. It was called PC Load Letter, which if anybody, maybe y'all are old enough to remember Office Space, the movie, Jennifer Aniston, Roy Livingston. Yep. Yeah. Where they beat the shit out of a printer in a field because they hate it and it needs to die. They brought a printer. It was BYO hammer. I brought a hammer. I was 30 minutes early. I have never been early to anything at Blaze, ever. I was 30 minutes early. They were like, why are you here? And I was like, I need to beat the shit out of a printer with a hammer. So they made me wait. And then we beat the shit out of a printer with a hammer. They put a tarp down to catch the moop. That did not help. It exploded. It was delightful. There were sledgehammers. It was really, really therapeutic for a lot of office drones. The toner cartridge exploded. There were clouds of death. It was like the most glorious thing I've ever done. And I loved it. I hope they come back. That is all.
I just thought the lines at the bureau were amazing. Like,
I couldn't
nowhere
believe it.
else on the playa with their
Who the
lines
hell?
to get
Who
in
the hell
there.
is going to queue up to go to bureaucracy here at a burn? The lines were down the road. It was so
it's
good.
Great. Yeah. What a win.
Yeah, a little weird.
It's very meta as well. I think having to line up for something at a blaze.
Yeah,
As
to get a piece of
Nina
paper.
says, it's too close to home for people who work in offices. To me, it was just like back at work. It was awful. But no, it was so much fun. Those guys.
Did you go in though? Because that was my thought until I went in, and then I was like, "Oh, this is so funny." Like you have to go through a little ticketing queue to get in, and it's done in red because it's red tape. And then like there's only in, there's no out. So when they turn you around, there's no out. So you're going in and out through the red tape simultaneously.
Yep.
You had to queue to get an idea. I can't describe it. It was brilliant. Would I consider it?
Would you consider it as a performance? Like
it is like a
arts kind of
yeah.
It was verging on performance art, yeah. Interactive performance art.
It should be more of that. I think it should be more encouraged.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's great.
I mean, you guys might have different opinions because I think everybody wanders around and has their own different blaze. It's big enough to do that, but I feel like there's been more individually creative performance art type things as Blaze has gone on through the years, and I quite like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. I really enjoyed that art car this year with the stripper pole and it that the circus gang were driving around. That was excellent.
Yep.
It was great. But yeah, the performance on wheels everywhere it went. It was excellent.
I think Blazing Swan in particular has the reputation maybe of being just like a big doof. And I don't think that's fair, but I do think our particular burn has more sound camp doof crews than other regionals of the same size. And I like that this year there was a whole lot more than that. Like we still had the sound camps and new sound camps and it was great, but we also had all this other stuff that was really cool this year.
Hell yeah.
I did like the transformation of Chainsaw Cobra into a cabaret round. I thought that was pretty innovative.
So the clowns, so Cherry Bomb runs circus events here in WA, and she's collaborated with Chainsaw Cobra Camp before, and they've done clown stuff. But yeah, this year, the longtime theme camp lead basically handed it off to a new guy who is also a fringe performing clown, and it just basically became clown camp. And I thought that was unexpectedly brilliant.
Yeah. I think that's going on into the future as well. So
I hope so. I spoke to what's-his-face who ran it this year, and he'd never been to Blaze. He's a long-time performer, fringe artist, etc., but he'd never been to Blaze. He'd never done anything like this. He didn't know how it was going to go. He was very confused, and then he pulled it off brilliantly. And he says he's interested in doing it again. George, did you go in the clown camp?
No, we didn't. We went to a couple of their shows at Fringe. Okay. So, yeah, look, it's hard, Nina, when you run your own theme camp and you also ranger. It's really hard to get out there and see and do an awful lot of stuff. I mean, you've got to sleep as well.
Yeah, and we're all getting older, I know.
Oh, goodness me. I love an afternoon nap nowadays.
Yeah, I feel that.
Well, wait till you retire.
I was reading something I wrote after the first Blaze, and I think I'd counted because it was so appalling. I'd slept like 10 hours in like 5 days or something just dumb. And I was like, oh, right, I was young. Right, okay.
Yeah, the good old days. 11 years later, it's not so easy. I saw one sunrise this year, so I was proud of that. Last year, I don't think I did any.
I only saw one this year, and I was very proud of that. And
did you see the Blaze Star?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, the one I stayed up for the sunrise because the Blaze Star was in the sky, which was apparently the cosmic coincidence of why. Well, someone was calling it the Blaze Star. And I was
Venus, I know. There is also a Blaze Star. She may have seen it.
Everyone was saying
could be a Starlink.
Yeah, I believe you.
I believed it at the time. Don't burst my bubble, George, right? I saw a cosmic coincidence. It was
sorry.
amazing.
Steven, did you want to
sunrise?
hear about like the rationale for the theme of the event this year, the cosmic coincidence?
Yeah, I'm curious.
I don't fucking know. I didn't listen. Vida, what's the cosmic coincidence?
Well, apparently it was, well, I've got two stories, actually. But there was going to be a meteor shower during the event, that something to do with this blazed star. So, but then I got a different story that morning that the reason it was called Cosmic Coincidence is because the blazed star was going to be shining and visual in the sky at blaze during the event, which was why I believed that was the blazed star that I saw that morning.
So I heard the second one. Yeah. So this blazed star is the star very far away or something, and it's about to explode. And the best astronomers could do was that it was going to explode in like a 1 month window that basically was over blaze. So what a cosmic coincidence, because it's actually called the blazed star. And
really?
I didn't follow up, so I don't know when exactly it exploded, but clearly after Vida saw it. Or maybe you saw the explosion.
Well, I think the explosion was, the thing that people were saying was going to look like a meteor shower. But I
Okay.
don't think that happened during the event. But
It definitely didn't happen before. It hadn't happened yet, but then I got distracted by clowns and printers.
yeah, I heard a week or so ago that it had happened. But it was like,
Okay.
but like then, not during the event. So, yeah, it happened 2 weeks or so after the event.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's what I've heard. Again, haven't done my research and followed up on the scientific facts.
Yeah, sorry. I feel remiss as the science event runner person here. We didn't look into it.
Yeah, you should have known, Nina.
I'm not an astronomer.
Was there an astronomer in the?
Not technically, but Paul Castle would like to think himself one. Wow, just naming names. So Paul is on our panel, and he's a mathematician, but he's been really digging into this Blaze Star stuff, so he totally would know. And I did not ask him. Sorry.
Yeah, one of the traditions at Blaze is to watch the sunrise or sunset at Canuck Rock. What other traditions are there that you can think of at Blaze that people must do, you reckon?
Well, I think mud bathing has fallen off, and I'd like to take credit for that, because for many years at Ask a Drunk Scientist, we would do a public service announcement about why you are all autonomous human beings and can do what you want, but it is a terrible idea to bathe in the mud of Gillikin Lake. I don't know, people used to always go and bathe in the mud, which, like, cool, but the mud out there is not particularly something that, like, it's a lot of farm runoff and heavy metal precipitation, and it's just not something I'd want to be putting on
I
that
think
person,
it's a
even though I have.
traditional
So I think
hippie
that's
thing
kind
to
of
do because it
fallen
reminds
off.
them of
Yeah,
yeah.
But
Well,
that
it
used
reminds
to
them
be a
of
big thing.
probably
Yeah.
Woodstock or something like that.
Yeah, but nah.
Flashbacks.
Don't do it,
I-
people. If you're ever at Blazing
No.
Swan, please don't do it.
like, I've been
things
telling
in
people
that
for
thing.
years it's a terrible idea, but
Yeah.
However, do run around the FG naked after it's burned.
that's a great
definitely
tradition.
one of our big traditions.
George, do
Getting
you
bigger
run?
and bigger.
Do you run the nudie run?
No, I don't, because that, to me that's something for people
I didn't
who
think you
never go
did.
naked to do. No, well, we're nudists. We're not exhibitionists. We don't.
Oh,
I mean, I live naked. I don't need to do an event like that to express myself. No. I walk around the entire paddock naked.
I don't
all
think
day,
the
every
nudie run
day.
is exhibitionism, though.
No, but I mean, to a nudist it is.
But the nudie run isn't exhibitionism. It's okay.
well,
It is. You're right. The one time that people who don't generally run around naked
exactly. Yeah,
feel free to do so.
Yeah. Maybe one day.
Steven, have you done the nudie run? Oh, the podcast can't
Usually-
hear, but he's shaking his head.
Usually, I'm either doing the perimeter or
Yeah, okay.
on rangering. So no, I haven't done it yet. No.
But there's no reason why you
I, as
can't.
the event manager, have never stripped off all my clothes while
I
I was working. to do
Wasn't going to
it.
ask you. I assume you're always working.
Louis did it this year. The chair.
Oh, good.
Well,
Louis did it
that's
last
kind of
year as well.
semi-tradition as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever done it, Nina? You've asked everyone else.
Oh God, no. No, I don't do naked.
Have you?
I
you've
did
never-
my first. You want a good story? My first Blaze, 2014, the first Blaze. I did not know what was happening. I had never heard of Burning Man. I mean, I'd heard of it, but I didn't know what it was, blah, blah, blah. We go out there randomly. It's mind-blowing, amazing. And I walk up to this tent, and it turns out it was the unicorn camp. And a person who I will not name and shame comes to the door because she's lovely. And she said, "Oh, do you want to come in?" And I said, "Yeah." And she was like, "Tops off." And I was like, "What?" And she was like, "Tops off, then you can come in." And I was like, "Oh." And I was there with workmates. Like, we decided to go to this thing. And so I look at them and they look at me and we're both like, "Are you going in?" And they were like, "We're going away." And I was like, "Great, I'm going in." And that, I think, is the last time I was topless at Blaze. Maybe not. Like, I used to do topless, but it just, the kids with their cameras, no.
Yeah.
Just not
Yeah,
happening.
that's an issue. We can talk more about that, especially with the nudie runners as well. There was some confusion, but there's some confusion every year, I think. People are running the wrong way, opposite way, don't know what the etiquette is. And I think a lot of people are actually thinking twice about doing the nudie run as well. Naked hippie run.
Well, yeah, this year we did have a little bit of an issue with the perimeter because we'd agreed that the fireys would create an inner perimeter once the fire was ready for the nudie run. However, when it came to the nudie run, we let the whole perimeter down and all the nudies and everyone else came forward. And so then all the nudie people ended up going inside the perimeter they'd created because there was actually no room for them left to run. So everyone had come forward. So that was a bit of a thing. So we are going to improve on that next year, but that did, create a little bit of an issue. But
so I arranged the perimeter.
Yeah, you were there. I know.
Yeah, I arranged the perimeter.
You had to look after that power box for me.
Yeah, I'm arranging the perimeter, and Vida comes over and she's like, "You need to stand right here so people who are naked do not." Yeah, it was quite a large power box that was not marked. So that was communicated to us, and we were kind of like, "That sounds great. How do we drop the perimeter for only naked people? Or how do we hold a second perimeter for the non-naked?" Or I think it can be done, but we just weren't quite sure how. And we were told the fireys would do the second perimeter, but then the whole crowd came in and they didn't know, and it could work out in future.
I met up with Gareth, our head fiery, today, actually, and we had a little chat about that. So we've got some ideas. We'll improve it next year. But yeah, that was just a little issue that we came across with the nudie run this year. But no one got hurt and it all worked out. So, we live to do it again better.
Mm-hmm. All right. So let's move on to the next segment. I've got a Blazing Swan quiz. You guys want to play along? This is like the side B of the quiz I asked that I did with Erin and Will. This is about Blazing Swan themes and what year it was on, and also the attendance. It's on the website, so if you can remember roughly how many people attended that year.
Do we get a prize if we win?
Of course you do.
What's the prize?
Of course you do. You get to be on it again. Yeah.
Oh, God. All right, I'll play.
All right, so we. This is a good memory game because it helps to be there as well. So, question 1: In which year was the theme Elemental used for Blazing Swan?
Oh, crikey,
dude, it's on my wrist.
Was
Give me a second.
Second year or the third? I'm pretty sure that was the second year. So 250.
It was absolutely not the second year.
It has to be at least 16 or 17.
I'm going to guess 2016.
Yeah,
but it could have been 17. Yeah.
I would have said 17. Yep.
Because we had 3 years of one word theme that started with an I, and I really liked that. And then I guess people ran out of I words.
Yes, that's right.
Yes. How many people do you reckon attended that year in 2017?
Oh.
2,800, 2,700.
2,800, yes. You're right, yeah. Good answer. Well done. How many one-word theme have Blazing Swan used?
4.
Correct. Do you know all of them? Do you know all the 4?
Inception, Elemental. They're literally on my wrists, dude. Give me a second.
Oh gosh, really.
They both start with
memory
eyes.
Banks here.
Okay, teamwork. They both start with eyes.
Inception, Inspiration.
Yeah, that's right.
Illumination.
Ah.
Illumination.
Yeah, that was one of them. Yeah, an elemental.
We've
yeah.
already told you we all old, mate.
Well, our virtual COVID year where we cancelled was also Perception. So
Yeah.
that would be
Perception,
5
yeah,
if that one counted.
Perception, that's a good one. Yeah. What was the theme for Blazing Swan in 2019?
Happy as Larry.
Happy as Larry.
Yeah. Do you guys remember that? Anything that stands out there? The effigy was quite
It
different.
was very different.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
it
big
was
hat.
hat.
big hat. Yep.
Were you guys a fan of it?
No.
Can't
No.
say
Was-
no.
No.
I don't want to say no. I'm really.
I'm happy to say
I'm
no.
a bit of a bitch about the effigy. I just want a big ass swan.
Me too.
I don't want all this creativity and like some twined up snakes that if you burn them the right way and look at it from the right angle, it looks like a swan. I love the designer, but I just want a big ass swan, man. I'm an effigy purist, so no, I did not love the tap hat.
Do you know how many people attended that year? 2019. It was kind of like peak swan, probably.
Yeah, let's say 3,000.
That sounds,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's quite a big number there. In 2016 was the year that Blazing Swan grew to a population of almost 2,500. What was the theme for that year?
Fucking
2016?
mud. Do y'all remember that?
Well, that was either Illumination, that one.
It wasn't
No.
as bad as the first year, I think. The mud.
It
yeah.
depends. You were at both of them, Stevan. The first year was
Yeah, I was,
apocalyptic
yeah.
flooding, run for the hills or die. The third year was you're going to lose knee-high wellies in a mud pit because it's been dribbling for 5 days straight and the mud is so deep it's eating hippies.
Yeah. And the toilets sunk, and then all the vehicles got bulged trying to pull the toilets out. And well,
Entirely different styles of rain.
But we had the boat on the lake, and that was a sensational art piece.
Oh, yeah.
That was
That was the same year, wasn't it? Yes.
processing
That was pretty.
the arresting of the boat people. Yeah. Just a brilliant piece of
Yes,
inspiration.
yes. So the answer was Illumination.
Illumination,
In which
yeah.
year was the theme inspiration used for Blazing Swan? What year was that?
2015.
Yeah, 2015. Second year.
Second year, yeah. Didn't go.
and that
Okay,
was
this-
the biggest
this-
effigy that ever existed with the big.
Oh, was that the double
Wings
swan?
and
The big winds.
the-
yeah,
No,
yeah.
that was the
No,
one
no.
with the big wings that came down, and
Yeah.
It looked more
where
like
it
a
had the
dragon than a
eggs.
swan.
Yeah,
Was
holding
Was that the one
eggs.
with the egg as well?
Yeah.
was there an egg? He had his wings
Yeah, there
down
was an
like that.
egg in it, like a metal egg that maybe Ryan made.
Yeah,
And then you're right.
biggest
the
budget
third year
effigy
was
of
the.
all of our time.
Wow.
2015. Wow.
Yeah.
That was good, Ben.
Do you know what that budget was?
Yeah, it was roughly 80 grand. And
Wow.
For the
To give you a
fucking
bit of-
wow! I
I
was going to
know,
try to
we-
stop swearing, but you chat on that. $80,000 for.
Yeah, and for
All
the
right, I'll shut
last
up.
3 or 4 years, it's been between 15 and 20 to give you some
Yeah,
perspective
that's
on how
more-
much bigger that was.
That's more what I
Yeah.
thought, and I'm aware wood costs a lot of money, but wow.
Yeah.
Well, now you know how big you can go. Yeah. Good benchmark. 2014. The theme was
Inception.
Inception.
Inception. And do you know any stories behind that name, that theme? Obviously, Inception has to be.
I just assumed it's because it was the inception of this event, but maybe
Yeah.
Vida was.
Yeah.
I was not involved with this before, on the pre-burn when the founders decided to start this thing.
Well, I wasn't either. I was just in Koasis back then, so
Hmm.
I don't have much details behind that, but I would just assume what is obvious.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, this is question is, in what year did John Halcyon Stein from Hug Nation attend Blazing Swan?
That was Happy as Larry year, wasn't it?
Ooh.
Was it 2019?
Yeah, I think it was actually.
Do you mean that
2019.
Yankee with the videos?
Pink hair?
Halcyon?
Yeah, from Burning Man, that's right. Yes.
Halcyon.
And I think there's a street still named after him.
There is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
he
I
runs
think
a
you guys are
fluffy
right. I
pink
think
cam
it-
at Burning Man.
I think it was
That's right.
2019.
Think so.
2016.
Oh.
Was it?
That was the illumination. I think we lighted up all those streets in 2016.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
In what year was Blazing Swan not on?
2020.
Blazing Swan
and
was not on
2022.
in 20 years. 2020
2020
and
and
2022.
2022, yeah.
2022.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, you rewrite your question. We know.
In what year was the theme Phoenix Rising used for Blazing Swan?
2021.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was the in between.
Mhm.
In between.
Yeah,
The
a
smallest
smaller
burn,
attendance.
1,500. Yeah.
Do you guys? Yeah, do you guys remember? Yeah, do you guys remember anything from that? Like, what was the whole situation with COVID
mean,
and whether you're gonna?
I'll be
That was
I
great year. So it was
confrontational
I
just
thought it
with
all
was
that.
the
That was a
crew.
great year.
It was the best.
All right,
best
I'm not
burn we've had.
confrontational. I agree with Vida. And you. It was smaller. It was hardcore blazers. It was everybody who'd like made it through the year of the Rona. It was only core crew and attendees. Like, it was great.
We all wanted to keep it like that. I don't know why we took it that.
I also wanted to keep it like that.
Yep, I still do. Hands up. Yep.
Yep,
Yeah,
great.
controversial.
Did it still feel
Or
like
not.
a town, a city, like a
Yeah, of course.
It did. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. We just had more room.
but half the size? Yeah,
people
right.
weren't
Like,
living
my
on each other's.
impression, yeah. My impression the first year at 2014, and my memory's probably shot, was that it didn't feel like a city. It was very spread out. The things to see and do were quite far apart. But that was also my first burn, so what do I know? That 2021 year, it very much still felt like a city to me.
Okay, 2018 was a year that JRC reached an approximate population of 3,200. What was the theme for that year, 2018?
Beyond the Black Stump.
Ugh,
Yes.
God, great.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Good memories from that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
loved
was a
that
great
year.
year.
Yeah,
That
I
was
think
a
that was
great
the first
year.
year I was doing Blazing Swan stuff. So, yeah, it was a really good year, that one.
And I know I just groaned, but I did like that the theme was like Aussie as.
Yeah, loved the artwork, loved what everybody, all the theme camps did with that theme.
Yeah.
Went real Australiana with it. That was fun. Yeah, felt like a real Aussie burn.
Was
Could
that
I-
the year
I
we
know
had
this
the
podcast
echidna
isn't,
made
like,
out of
official.
5 cent pieces?
I think it was.
Oh, maybe
yeah.
so.
Well, either that was or 2017, I think.
But could we
Yeah.
maybe propose another Australian theme? Could one year be like, not here to fuck five?
Or spiders.
Spiders.
Correct. But it's Blaze. But it's Blaze.
what
There's
year was
flies.
the
There's
Bat
flies.
County?
Come on.
What year was Bat County suggested?
Every year.
Every
it's been
year?
suggested every year.
Time?
But there
What's the in
was.
joke about that for the
But
listeners?
there was a Recombob where the then committee threw us a bone and called the Recombob Bat Country, and they thought that would shut people up, and it did not.
Yeah, I was on that committee. I really hoped, but
It was a
I've
noble
gone to
gesture.
I've gone to the site quite a few times outside of Blazing Swan, and every time we go, there are just these little tiny bats that fly around everywhere, and they fly within a foot of you if you're sitting on the ground because they pick the midges out of the air. It's just incredible. I hadn't realised that there were so many bats in all those trees around the perimeter. Just incredible.
So you're saying that's where the theme suggestion comes from, because
Yeah, I
it
think so.
literally is
Yeah,
Bat
there's a
Country.
lot of bats out there.
Yeah. Okay.
And are you guys aware of how these themes come about? Like, who is there a committee? Is there
There is a committee.
a
Yeah.
voting process?
I think it has gone out to the public a few times, though. And
It
there's
has,
been
and
like
recently
a
it's gone to the
voting
members.
process. But Cosmic Coincidence, that all just came about from, a fun little
From
thing
science.
that happened at the drunk scientist, and then
Excuse you. Drunk scientist hells down invented space crabs, and we
Yeah.
nearly
yes.
had the
Yeah,
votes
yeah.
to make the theme space crabs, and apparently we were shot down in committee by one human, and I don't know who that human was, so I can't correct them. No, we wanted space crabs, and we were denied because apparently committee thought it was too reminiscent of like STIs or some crap.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Sorry, I'm pro
Yeah.
space crab.
well, they compromised and gave you something that you could still be a space crab at, I guess.
Ugh,
Not good enough.
I'm over it.
Uh-huh.
I would like Bat Country though.
We have to have it one year.
Yeah,
surely.
one day we just got to get the Alliance crew on the committee, and I'm sure it will happen.
Yeah.
It is less exciting now that Alliance doesn't attend. Yeah,
It
as a
is.
camp.
Mm.
Before we go on a break, let's talk about Koasis Creek, Vida. Let's
Oh, yeah.
tell the listeners a bit about background about that, how that came about, and what's the story behind that.
Oh yeah. Well,
It's
year
part
one,
of-
we've mentioned it a couple of times in in this conversation, but year one.
It's in the legend of the map now.
Yeah. The great floods of 2014. Koasis, my home and heart theme camp, were positioned in what we thought was a lovely position at the time. We had some trees around, and well, as I told Nina this year in some comms about ranger camping, where trees grow, rain goes. So, yeah, when the big rains came, we actually ended up in a river. So our whole camp, all the floors lifted, all the carpets lifted, all the cushions lifted, and ended up down at the fence by the lake. At one point, we had our DJ holding the power cords up in the air while he continued to DJ, and people were dancing on our bar because they couldn't dance in the river anymore. This was all happening while they were trying to light the effigy, which was just outside our kind of door, and our camp had the best viewing spot for the effigy to be lit. So we kind of pushing the roof with poles while drowning, while trying to save electrical stuff, while trying to watch the effigy burn, all happening at once. And yeah, just my whole tent was gone when I went to go to bed that night. I had no tent, it was gone. I had to jump into the back of a friend's ute and be like, I don't know when to go, help me. But yeah, absolute chaos, but absolute bonding experience for all of us in the camp. And, you know, and hence we got a river named after us, which is now prominently signed. Don't camp here unless you want to flood and die or drown. Yeah, now it's got its own little permanent position on the map. And yeah, when you actually look at the site from the air with all the drone footage we have now and the tech we have now, you can kind of see exactly where the water's going to go because there's a big tree line coming all the way down from the rock to the lake. But yeah, we didn't know that then, and we certainly know now.
So I never heard any of that because I was at the effigy when they did get it lit and whatnot. And then, you know, the heavens opened. I had no idea you guys were already flooding it up in there trying to DJ from a held cord on top of the bar. Because I went into Koasis after the skies opened because, you know, you guys had a tent and I had no clothes on or whatever, a few clothes. And I get in there and I spent the rest of it in there. And at one point, your Jenny cut out. Your Jenny must have flooded. And I was like huddled on a mud hill with some dude who I still don't know. And we were like, fuck, what do we do? And like, there's no lights and everyone had left. And I don't know if he's alive because we both fled in different directions. It was such a good night.
That sounds about right.
My memory of that night was people just say, don't go to Koasis. So we ended up at God Said Yes instead. So that was the party there. And thankfully God did say yes.
Oh, you were at Camp Anita.
Yeah, that's right.
That's how I fled.
Yeah.
Papa's Arms,
Papa's Arms, God Said Yes, Camp Anita, what call it?
It was the driest.
That's where I went because it was the only place that didn't flood because it was up top of the hill.
Yeah, but where the Rangers camped this year, that was the spot. Yeah, it's not a bad spot.
Good memories.
They were good times.
It does make me laugh. Like, George, you weren't there for 2014, but you've been there in muddy, terrible rain.
We were there in
Vida,
2016 and it was muddy, yeah.
Yeah. Like, do you guys
we
just kind of crack up when some newbie comes and they're like, oh, it's raining, we're all going to die? And I'm like, you don't know anything.
It's bonding.
Yeah, we're all pulled together. Yeah.
Also, you're going to be fine. It's going to be okay.
Yeah. Rain stops, the sun comes out.
Yeah.
Eventually, sometimes.
Well, 10 years later, we're all still here, so that says something. Tragic camping experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And none of us have
it does crack me up though. Like when we had that little sprinkle, was it last year? No, 2 years ago?
2 years ago. And everybody was like
half of general camping
freaking.
left.
Yes, and half of Gen Pop left. And I was like, it hardly rained, y'all.
It was good though. We got rid of the
I agree with you.
Did you tell them no refunds?
Riffraff. Of course.
No refunds.
No refunds. That's printed in the T&Cs on the back of your ticket.
Okay, we're back. Let's talk about some of the improvements over the years at Blazing Swan. The site layout as well, maybe?
Do you want to start on that, Nina? Or the site has definitely changed a lot.
Sure. So, as Vida was saying earlier, there were many learnings the first year, mostly about drainage patterns. And so the first year, as I recall, everybody was just higgledy-piggledy fucking wherever. And then the second year, after the violent God said no to our site plan. And then the second year, there was a lot more thought, in my impression, put into like, where should the theme camps actually be, where we're not all going to drown. Over the years, that's progressed further, and the event's grown bigger, obviously. So theme camps at one point, I think maybe around like 2018, I could be wrong on the year, but around then, the powers that be decided that theme camps would all be at the north end of the site, and the racetrack where they run the horse races, the bush races out there, would be for general camping. And we were chatting in middle break about how I may stand alone, but I really don't like that. I think it creates a lot of segregation between people who've never been to a burn. You know, I end up calling them Gen Pop because that's what they are, and I'm aware that's rude, but that is how this segregation has resulted, you know? Like, theme camps have a lot of issues because people who've never been to a burn, who aren't volunteers, who aren't involved, come up and just take it as, you know, a free bar for the night, which is rude. And people who are shunted into a horse corral down the end and don't know what's happening have no idea that the amount of work that goes into a theme camp is mind-boggling. So, in my opinion, if we went back to where everybody was interspersed and theme camps covered the whole site, art covered the whole site, punters covered the whole site, I just think that works a lot better. I think that would bring other issues, like, you know, the guys who slave away for 6 weeks to put in the power grid would have a much harder time of it, and roads cutting, and that's a real concern. But I don't know, we're meant to be inclusive, yeah? We're not meant to have Gen Pop down in a racetrack cordoned off with an actual fence where they have to throw their own parties because they're not invited up into theme camp land with your separate car passes. Now I'm ranting. What do you guys think?
Well, I mean, I can see your point. I can see how the each one teach one is a little bit harder to do when one is on one side and one is on the other side.
Yeah.
However, being the girl behind the operations, as you said, it would be a tricky feat to give what we give currently to half the site to the whole site. You know, and as I also mentioned too in the break, our town planning coordinator is about this as well. And so I guess what Blazing Swan needs to do is a bit more longer term strategic planning about where we want to go and then how we're going to achieve it. Currently, we're just kind of rolling through year to year and evolving as, you know, we put in more infrastructure and develop the site, but we haven't long-term strategically looked at what would be the best for the event in, say, 5 years or as we grow. So currently, as the site is now, and this is why it came up with town planning, is that the 1,500 people that are camped on the north side are running out of space. But yeah, there's still plenty of camping in the race or space in the racetrack that could be used. So how can we kind of work the site to utilize that and yeah, make it better for everyone? And yeah, the inclusiveness thing would be awesome if we could figure that out. I'm with you on that, but just
and I hear you
logistics.
On the other aspects. Yeah. Did you notice this year, because I was actually a bit confused because we sold more tickets, yeah? And then I'm looking down on like the Thursday, Friday to the racetrack and it was not full. It was hardly even half full. And it's because that overflow camping existed. And I think a lot of the general attendees went up and camped in overflow camping because it's closer to the action, which is totally cool, except that overflow camping is basically in Koasis Creek.
Yes, but no.
And
so we actually
time they do that, I'm like,
that first because it rained 3 days before the event started, and the entry into
that's right, I heard that.
Entry into the general camping got really muddy. So that's one of the issues is our current entry into general camping does bog out if it's rained. And the bottom corner of general camping also gets really boggy and marshy. So to sort of wait for that to dry out, the first couple of days of everyone arriving, we parked them all in overflow first. So that's why that got filled up, and then general camping didn't fill up. So
Yeah, totally cool.
it's
I'd
good we've
forgotten
got
about
both
that.
because we can adapt to the environment. But yeah, if it
I'm
rains,
just wondering then,
sucks down there.
if there's room in Gen Pop and we could, if we were to, I'm not in the org, if the org were to drop the segregation barrier, I'm not sure there's actually that much room down there unless we do use that whole overflow camping area, and then that could get bogged if it rains again, and I guess it is complex.
It is. It's hard. Yeah, because once you start putting power and infrastructure and toilets in the boggy bits,
you get flooded swamp poo.
Yeah. So we just put people in there. We'll leave if it rains anymore.
George, were there any? So when you were rangering, did you walk towards the general population camping area, and were there any stories coming out from there?
We always do a couple of laps through there, especially around the burn times, because there's no one in there. And I remember one burn, we actually had a spate of cars being broken into and people were looking for things like medication and stuff like that. So, we're always on the lookout for things like that. When it's really quiet in Gen Pop, it's easy to see someone loitering around and doing something that they shouldn't be doing. So yeah, we always look after everyone. We patrol the entire perimeter.
But it's pretty fun in there when it's not quiet too, right, George? Like when I'm event managing and I drive around in there,
there are lots of little parties going on. It is. And in fact, that's one of the biggest problems. After about midnight, we get a lot of people in Gen camping who don't want to have any noise at all because it's really quiet. I mean, once you're down there, you can't hear any of the noise from the sound camp, so it's really peaceful and you can get a lot of sleep. But after midnight, if there's too many parties breaking out in the general camping area, that's when you have a lot of potential conflict. So yeah, we range that
and
a lot.
And that's another thing that's changed.
A lot of complaints.
I remember there was a year or two forever ago where there was an actual designated quiet camping area, where it was like quiet camping / kid friendly / you don't want to have the super fun going off that I'd rather hang out at. And I thought that was nice for people, but you can't really. I think we've grown to the size where you can't really have that.
Well, it's basically the arse end of general camping.
Yeah. But then I was on Ranger shift a couple years ago, and we were down the ass end of Ranger camping, like literally across the fence from greeters. And some dude had parked a rig up there. He was alone. He had been blasting Psytrance at like volume at 11 for, I've been told, 48 hours. And his neighbors were about to like actually lynch him. So we went over.
Absolutely better.
I don't blame them. I don't blame him. I don't blame anyone. I'm a ranger. So we went over and we convinced him to turn it down to like 8 rather than 11. But because I agree, if you're willing to hike to the ass end of Gen Pop, let's put quiet camping there. And I think his point was that there was all this free space where he could set up his thing and, like unless you actually designate it, it's not going to work.
Yeah. That's some good feedback for the town planning team.
He was really lovely.
Look, most of the feedback I got from the general population campers is that they love it down there. They love the peace and quiet. They love the fact that you've got to go away from where all the cars and where all the people are to actually see the fun things. Because where we are in our theme camp, I mean, we're at our theme camp, our cars there, our tents there. We don't ever get away. But if we were in, I mean, I've camped in Gen Pop once, and I thought it was pretty good to be able to just leave all the rangering and all the other stuff behind and go back and have a quiet night. I mean, I loved it, and most of them feel the same way. If you gave them the choice, they wouldn't want to set up their tents in Sound Camp Alley. They love the fact that it's down at the racetrack. So I mean, I disagree with you, Nina. I think
that's totally fair of people. I think that's fair of people who camp down there intentionally. I don't think it's necessarily fair of people who've never been to Blaze before.
My experience is those
would get a lot more out of it if they could camp by a theme camp.
Yep. Well, those people who want to, they always say, "Oh no, I'm with a friend who's with a friend," and they end up finding places to camp, where they want to camp. There's so many of the general punters end up, where we are. There were people parked behind us. There were people parked in between other theme camps. I mean, yeah, people sneak in everywhere. Yeah, no, my experience is that everyone I speak to in general camping just loves it down there. They don't want to go anywhere else, and those that do, I think as they come in, they see the general camping population, and they think, well, is there another place here that we can park? And they drive around until they find a little spot, and they just park in there. We had a few campers near us that they were definitely Gen Pop. They weren't with any theme camp, and they were parked
we used to have that.
It happens
You
everywhere.
must have had that. Like when I used to run Shit Gift, we'd have we'd have people come up every year. I ran it for 3 years, and they'd be like, "Hey, you got all this field? Can we we're Gen Pop? Can we camp in your backyard?" And I'd be
you had a great little. Your location was fantastic. It was on Camp Koasis. You had that lovely little clump of trees. You had
so we got that lovely camp of trees covered in rocks that might flood. So I would explain the topography to them, and then they'd be like, "Yeah, we got all this space. I don't care if you're Gen Pop, camp in our backyard," and they'd love it. So I think you're right. People who like Gen Pop really want to stay down there, whether they're theme camp or normal people or whatever. But some people, be they theme camp or normal people or whatever, really want to come up top, and it would just be less awkward if they didn't have to wink wink nudge nudge, yo Nina, can I camp here? And I'd be like, yeah, I don't care, just tell everybody you have a car park pass. I didn't say that.
Yeah,
I do remember.
But imagine if everyone did that.
But everyone did that for 4 years, and it was absolutely fine.
Well, what's happened there?
And I'm sad it died, but I think that we just got too big.
Yeah, having 500 volunteers means we have to look after them and put them somewhere quiet so they can sleep in between their shifts. However, that being said, I personally was trying to open it up a bit more for some smaller theme camps this year, and we got a couple back in. But I got a lot of pushback from certain people about that. So then it got kind of reserved again for crew. But again, I felt like there was still heaps of room up there, and we could have possibly, fit a few more people, maybe some families, maybe some other people that wanted to be there. But there's a bit of a resistance.
A lot of it's because crew gets there so early and puts in, this 4 weeks beforehand. And of course, they should have wherever the hell they want to camp reserved for them. But because people arrive staggered, the space is not utilized as well as it could be if we all rocked up on the same day. But there's a huge amount of space behind Cunt Rock. So you've got the Infinite Loop. That's always quite full. But then there's that whole space where Louis camped this year. I won't say where because he had the best spot in the house. But over where Louis camped, there's so much room back there, and it's not suitable to all vehicles, but you could fit a lot of crew, a lot of families, a lot of stuff.
Well, that actually did
in there.
Fill up quite a bit towards the end, and with people in vans and caravans and stuff. Because anywhere around the rock, it's rocky. You can't get pegs in for a tent.
Yeah.
If it's windy,
the
tent's going to blow away. But with caravans and stuff like that, it works. But
I mean, to be fair, that's the other issue with the site. Half of it's gorgeous, and then you try to peg something, and you're like, oh, I just die now. And half of it's, fugly as, but the pegging is delightful, as it were. So
I've never
there's
tried
other
pegging
issues
before,
with the
Nina.
site.
Apparently double pegging is what you need to do with Blazing Swan.
I would have just said a much longer rebar peg.
Just hold the peg.
It needs to be drilled down.
Driller peg.
Double pegged and drilled down.
It'd be fun when there's no Aussies listening to this.
And over the years, the DPW crew, the infrastructure, it's improved a lot. So you guys are a bit more comfortable, a bit more less dramas, I guess.
Yeah, having money behind us from having a couple of good years of, getting the numbers and having a tight budget and having a little bit of extra room to move. We've actually been able to get the equipment that we need to do the job and buy the tools that we need to do the job probably, and be able to feed the numbers that we need to do the job has definitely made the job easier. And this year we actually took down the big kitchen marquee at the end of the event. We had our quickest ever pack down. So in all the years I've been doing pack down, the earliest I've ever got out is the Monday morning after the event shuts on the Tuesday. This year we packed up and took down the whole massive marquee that we've used as our shelter for the last, forever. And I was out of there by 2 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. It was amazing. So,
Good teamwork.
yeah, and just having those return volunteers definitely massively helps as well, because everyone they're looked after, they're treated well, they come back and they know what they're doing. So it means we get things done faster and we've got the tools to get it done with less drama. Makes our life easier. So
I really
good.
think, as an outside observer, that also having Vida employed as the event manager for the past, what, you said 3 years now? 2-3 years?
This is my second year this year.
Yeah, 2 years. I think, like, as an outside person, having that has made the faces of everyone involved so much smilier. Like,
Thanks.
it has been so much smoother from people I've talked to. Like, just, I mean, not just having a person as event manager, but having you, like, you're great.
Oh, thank
I'm not
you.
complimenting anyone else today. That was it.
Oh, cute. Well, yeah, I just think that one person actually overseeing from beginning to end and, documenting everything and, knows what's going on, instead of this volunteer can do that week and then that volunteer can do that week, but they don't actually know what they're doing and, but they're trying. So let's just make it work. That kind of, we've gotten out of that now, which is great. Yeah.
Steven, are you ever coming back to Blaze?
Probably next year. Maybe. We'll see.
Oh my God. Okay.
Silent Disco?
Yeah.
See. Do miss Silent Disco, and I miss the roller derby, the roller rink as well.
I love that roller rink. Do you want the people to hear the story of how you used to run a camp at Blazing Swan and then you didn't?
Sure. The Silent Disco. But it first started with couch surfing. So we're just a bunch of travelers, a bunch of, nomadic people, international backpackers or tourists or whatever. That was the first year, and our camp got flooded. So some people didn't want to come back, and I didn't know what to do. Well, we didn't know what to do, so I thought maybe we'll do something more interactive, less work, maybe. And that was a Silent Disco.
That was a great year, and Steven ran a great event. Did any of you guys, George, you went that? Vida, did you attend the year he ran Naked Silent Disco with a competition and a trophy?
I know. I'm like so you, babe. I don't get naked, but I think.
Oh, no, I just watched.
You're naked except for the headphones. You're wearing headphones. That's the only thing you're wearing. And a smile, big smile.
He blindfolded everybody. They got, consensually. They got naked and they silent discoed. And it was like a dance competition for like naked blindfold silent disco. It was so much fun.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
It was really cute.
Well, you know how in Toastmasters, where you get told to visualize people being naked, to lessen the whole anxiety, and so if you blindfold yourself, you won't have that much anxiety, I guess.
It worked as well. People really let loose with the dancing.
Okay, so one thing I want to talk about is the over the years how I think live music has been dying in the burn communities. So I'd like to see more of that. With Blazing Swan, I remember the first few years there was a live camp, jam camp, things like that. Progressively, Abode has been doing some live things, changed to a Cobra with the Cabaret Lounge. What do you guys feel about live music in general?
All for it.
Yeah.
That's why I think
Koasis?
Magical Frontier is like, Koasis had the beer garden this year, which was a massive, excellent addition. So big beer garden out the front and live music pretty much every afternoon, like pub vibes, like pretty cool. Beers on tap, live music, pub vibes out the front. That really went off. I think they'll keep doing that. And then, of course, I'm just going to rave about the Magical Frontier because I love them. And I love being able to get away from the doof and actually just feel a bit of heart and soul and listen to some classics. Yeah, and they just it was mostly covers down there, but it was classic covers.
But it was so,
and it was so good. Yeah.
You find them and you walk in and they have humans singing songs with words. And the words are words that you know and they let you sing. And it was mostly covers. Who cares? It was brilliant. They also, a couple nights I was at Magical Frontier, they had people in the crowd come up and be like, hey, yo, I can jam. And they'd let whoever wanted to come up on stage.
wow.
They had some Swedish kid who was backpacking who'd never been to a burn, blah, blah. I think he said he was 19. And he came up and they lent him a guitar and he sang some songs he's written because he's trying to become a muso. And I'm not going to say I'm going to follow him, but I love that happened.
Huh.
That was rude. He was fine, not my jam. But it was great. Like, more live music, yes.
All about it. Effigy last year actually had a lot of live music. This year a bit less. But yeah, there is. And the Big Bad Wolf, they weren't here again this year, but last year they were doing that kind of vibe. And yeah,
They
I think there's
actually set up
definitely.
in Gen Pop this year.
Hey, oh, cute.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. Too much red tape?
I don't know because their theme camp lead is on committee, so I don't know.
Yeah, funny. Yeah, I'd love to see a Jan camp, live camp, specific live music camp come back, but you're definitely still getting a tad of that with a couple of the camps, which is where I always end up being, actually.
Yeah.
Could that be something considered as like for an arts grant, like performing arts grant or something that can encourage more to the scene?
I would be very surprised if the arts department was interested in giving a grant to somebody for live music.
Karaoke, yeah.
They definitely do performing arts, sure, like, clown camp, but they try to really keep it to structural. I'm not an artist. Structural
visual.
Yeah, visual art. I really think that'd be a hard sell. I think
maybe
any
in
live
theme
music
camp
could get a theme camp grant. Yeah, because we do roving camps as well as in placed, actual placed theme camps. And so once live camp died, the guys who ran it still did like an art card that had a live band on the back, and they would do live music for a number of years before they branched into something else. And that would get a theme camp
good old
grant.
Charlie, would it?
Yeah,
Champagne Charlie.
Champagne Charlie. So that's definitely something that could be promoted, funded through theme camps. But I don't think it would quite... I mean, there's this weird overlap between what is art, what is theme camp, what is neither, what is both. I would send them towards theme camp land.
Yeah.
And one thing you said, Stevan, you said you think live music has gotten lesser, died off over the years. I don't know that I agree with that. I don't think... I mean, I've only been to 2 different regional burns, but, do you think there used to be more live music? I don't.
I think, yeah. Well, with, over here in the east, with Burning Seed, we used to have Trash Mansion, which was, all about, the live music, the whole, kind of like you said, the pub feel as well. But besides that, I think EDM is actually taking over, so... It seems like it is becoming more like a doof culture, but there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there isn't. I'm just saying I think it's always been taken over. I think it's always been EDM 90% of the time.
Yeah. Maybe it caters to the younger crowd. Maybe I'm not sure what the answer is or what the situation is happening with live music scene. It's also outside of the Blaze community in general as well.
Yeah, okay. That I might agree with.
Well, speaking for someone who's old enough to be all of your fathers, I would love live music. I'm sick and tired of DJs who just produce exactly the same sound to me in every one of the camps. I mean, I honestly can't stand it. If I have to range it down at Sound Camp Alley, I look for an excuse to go up the other end of Gen Pop. But yeah, live music. I actually heard some John Denver playing from a rumor or something like that. And it was wonderful.
George, you should have been there at the Ranger camping this year when I had to explain to a group of, I swear to God, 15 people who Roger Waters was.
Oh my God. Well, there you go. See?
Yes, you're slightly older than me, but live music would be great.
Yep. We don't have this hair for nothing. I mean, just...
I think we all agree there. More live music, more classics, more diversity.
Yeah.
I mean, part of that's the size of the event, yeah? We're getting bigger, and that's cool. And I think we all agreed there was more diversity of creativity this year. Diversity's great, but it's hard when it's small.
And what were your thoughts about some of the workshops?
Not sure I went to one. Sorry.
You didn't go to heavy metal yoga?
No.
Heavy metal yoga.
I was busy recording your podcast.
I think the church used to do that.
Well, there used to be Boga, which was Bogan yoga.
Right.
That was amazing.
The church definitely did heavy metal yoga for a number of years. I'm aware I did the app of events, but I can't remember if they did it this year.
Yeah,
There was a lot of yoga this year. There was like 17 different kinds of yoga every day, and I went to none of it. And I love yoga.
Same.
George, surely you went to one workshop.
Well, I kind of had to. My partner ran the Pussies, Pancakes and Polaroids session.
There you go.
And that was so well attended. This was lovely. I just
Where
made
was
the
that,
pancakes.
George?
In
At
the
Theme
library
Punk.
tent.
Oh, at library.
No, yeah. We wanted to go to Theme Punk, but yeah, they were all asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, there was that new Garden of Eros camp, which I didn't go to, but they appeared. And I heard that you had to do a 4-hour workshop to then go
beforehand,
to a session. I actually don't know much about it. Does anyone know anyone that attended?
I got an invitation to go to all of their events because I know all the crew, but I didn't go to a single one.
I didn't go to any.
4 hours to be able to go to anything. Like I don't do more than 5 minutes anywhere at Blaze. I'm so busy. I'm like, I'm there, I'm everywhere, as you say, and I don't have time to do 4 hours just to go in for.
I'm with you, and it's not really my scene. But the point of them having that is that they were running workshops on consent. I was not aware they were 4 hours, but they were. They'll hate this, but so they're a sex camp. And so they were running things that you had to attend to be informed about consent and stuff before you could attend any of their workshops that were a bit more sexy time. And, bless them for doing that because probably you shouldn't just let anybody in. I don't know about that 4-hour time length thing there. But yes, it's good that they did have so you'd have to attend a workshop and you'd get like a different colored wristband based on what they'd seen you complete. And then you could attend further things.
But all the sessions were packed. I mean, the tents were always full. We ranged past there several times, and there was lots and lots of shoes out the front. Didn't hear anything.
Hear anything?
No. A lot of the stuff was non-verbal. A lot of the touching things. It's
right.
Yeah.
It's a non-verbal sex camp.
Well,
sorry, that's delightful.
I don't understand.
I don't either.
It's like a marriage. Everything's verbal without sex, but anyway.
The opposite.
It's the opposite. Yeah.
Well, there was some community controversies and learnings out from this year's Blaze as well. Let's introduce a new segment where we can all play along and talk about some of these topics. So this new segment I'm going to introduce is called Burnier Than Thou.
Oh.
Now I remember hearing this sentence, Burnier Than Thou, first time. And I thought, well, how does this apply to our community? It's like the holier than thou, right? So we're all morally superior without judgment and thought. So the first kind of topic maybe we can talk about is, are foreigners or backpackers ruining Blazing Swan? That was something that came up.
So I saw that you put that on the thing, and I find it particularly hilarious given you're a foreigner, I'm a foreigner. We met via Blazing Swan because you ran a camp specifically geared towards backpackers / foreigners / couch surfers / whoever might be in Perth and hasn't heard of this thing and might want to go and do this thing. And you started a camp to support them when they don't have tents or food or whatever. So I thought it was really interesting that you were putting that up because we both joined this as dirty foreigners. You're right.
Well, let's also
feedback.
I don't want to come across racist here, guys, but I'm going to say that neither of you are French.
I was waiting for you to say French.
Someone had to mention that there is a massive
French, German. Yep.
Oh,
no, the Germans didn't get the
Steven, you haven't been. Steven, you haven't been. It's French for the past 2 years. It's just French, drowning in French.
There is
I find this also hilarious because I speak fluent French. And I saw such a difference this year and last year because, yes, both years were inundated with Frenchies. But last year, every single French person I spoke to was, sorry, a cunt. And this year, every single French person I spoke to was delightful. And I am a data point of 1. But I have a theory that the cohort has rolled over. We have a new crop. I like these French. I want to keep them.
Okay. Well, what about the French theme camp that just didn't roll up?
Sorry, who was that?
No limit.
Healing Island.
Oh,
whole
dude, they didn't
thing,
show, did they? Were
They
they
didn't
French?
even roll up. They got 50 theme camp ticket.
No, they totally didn't show.
Wow.
And they hired a stretch tent. They got a stretch tent put up for them. They got
Did
their
not know
thing
they were
money
French.
that didn't come. Then it.
Wow.
That's
Have we
like,
put them in the black book?
they are definitely in the black book.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And
We
no
have all their
communication
names,
since?
right?
Hmm.
Half of them rocked up, but then, their lead wasn't there and none of their stuff was there, and they just ended up randomly camping in general camping because
Wow.
their theme camp leaders didn't arrive.
All right, I'll retract my all the French were lovely, but
those guys weren't there, so I don't know.
but
Some of them were.
But to be more
That's really
serious,
strange.
I do think this, like Vida's right. It's been an inundation of French for 2 years now, but I think this whole discussion is just not racist, but just a bit bullshit. Like, so you're foreign,
Yeah.
so you're a backpacker, so you're whatever. Have you been here for 13 years like me, or your whole life like Namle, or are you just off the boat? Are you moving here on a visa of some sort, or are you literally just backpacking through? Are you a foreigner who came from a country where you've been to the Nevada regional for 12 years running and you wanted to come to Blaze, but, God, you're French. Like, you can't lump all this together. And I think the main problem is Burgeons, not foreigners or Frenchies or backpackers or whatever. It's Burgeons.
Absolutely. Like some of the, but that being said, like some of the people that volunteered in the kitchen and DPW and came from the beginning were all first time burners that now it's changed their life, and they were the biggest help. So yeah,
I'm sorry, I retract.
Really generalize.
You're correct.
Actually, like,
you're correct. It's
really
not
generalize.
even Burgeons. It's
really hard not to generalize when you're out rangering and every second. Sorry, Nina, but
no.
When you're out rangering and every second theme camp comes up to you and says, "We've got a group of French people that are peeing on the outside of our tent," I mean, it can't help but leave a sour taste.
Look, if you've been to France, toilet etiquette is different. It's not their fault.
I know, I understand that. I know, but we all know where toilets are. I mean, bloody hell.
No, honestly, the French don't. You can pee outside like God intended. I love France. Pee outside as God intended.
Have they got different signs for for toilets or something over there? Like that aren't the little
No, they just have a
triangle-
lot more open air toilets.
You make an interesting point. I mean, our signage is mainly in symbols or in English, right?
No, it's in symbols.
They know where
DPW is
toilets
fine.
are.
It's
They're
symbols.
just
It's pretty
lazy.
fucking clear.
You've got more toilets this year than I've ever seen at any other Blaze, Vida. You've done well. There's toilets bloody everywhere. There's no reason to pee on a tent. I mean, that's just disgusting.
No.
There is no reason to pee on a tent. I am pro peeing outside, but not on other people's possessions.
I mean, there's a lot of people peeing on the fence. I guess I don't have a problem with that. At least it's on the other side of the fence and it's away. But even that, I mean, if I saw one person peeing on a fence that was literally 10 meters away from the toilet block. I mean, how lazy are you?
Yeah.
I'm pretty lazy. So Vida's right. It's not just Burgeons. I take that back. But I don't know that there's any way to differentiate when somebody just buys a ticket between, because a lot of people on the page have suggested, we bring back the burner profile. Have you been to a burn before? Blah, blah, blah. And I just think I think it's quite gatekeeping, and I also don't think it would achieve the goal. Like we all know there's some people who've been to Blaze 10 times who are still kind of cunty.
Well, on my first Blaze, Nina, there was a greeter who, wound down our window and said, "Have you got enough water to last you 5 days?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Yeah, we've got 200 litres of water." I mean, they went through a checklist of things. And I haven't been greeted since because we always get in early now, but I would like to think that we're still asking these basic questions.
They still do that.
The gate
and people still come in.
Yeah.
They still do that. People still come in. I remember my first Blaze when I didn't know what the hell was happening.
Without food.
I mean, I didn't because I've been camping all my life.
They?
But they manage it by sponging or being nice people or somehow. I just don't think there's any way to differentiate who's going to be a nice community member and who's going to piss on somebody's tent until you see them.
Well, when 4 people rock up,
I'm okay with burner profiles. I wouldn't mind if
I
I
too.
that.
Oh no, I'm okay with that as well. I just don't think it would solve the whole problem.
No, But if we ever do get to the point where we are selling out, which we're not in any threat of that at the moment, because technically we can get up to 5,000 people on the site that we've got.
Wow.
So we've got so much room to grow, so we don't need to be picky. But as we mentioned earlier, we really liked the event where it was only 1,500 people and it was all the crew as well.
Yep.
Depending on, yet again, long-term strategic planning of what we actually want to happen with this event and who we want to be there and all of that.
But it's exactly that.
Thing,
and it's what you said before about each one teach one. Each one teach one is fabulous. Each one teach 12 is unsustainable.
Yeah.
And there's not historically been appetite from the organizers to do strategic planning, long-term growth, etc. If somebody were to actually do that, that would be great. And if they were to consider perhaps we should cap the number of newbies, the ratio of newbies to previous attendees, I think that would fix a lot of it. And I don't care who those newbies are. They can be disgusting French backpackers. They can be delightful French backpackers. They can be whoever. But if you capped newbies to old farts, I think it would be a lot easier to onboard.
Yep, that's a good point.
Well, I've been making this point in public for 10 years and nobody listens to me. So I'm done now.
Yeah, well, if the committee had time, I'm sure they would like to long-term strategic plan, but I feel like...
that's always the problem.
Yeah.
There is no time.
There's never enough time and there's never enough resources, All
right, I'm blaming the committee, but I'm not really blaming the committee. There's never enough time. And then you end up with this, Namlek clearly touched a button for me at least here, but this subject comes up every year and it will come up forever because there's never time to address it.
Yeah. True stories.
Yeah. Okay, so foreigners are ruling Blazing Swan.
Not what I said.
Let's move on.
Also, I wanted to mention the other type of Burnier than our Val foreigners, which are foreigners that come from other burns that think they're better than you because they've been to all types of other burns. And they come into our little West Australian burn and go, we don't do everything so good. And they've never been to yours and think they know more than you. That is another version of Burnier than that.
I want to say something super inflammatory because you annoyed me earlier, Stevan. I'm just going to say Halcyon.
Right, okay.
Because I met him and
Was he one of them to you?
He was to me, yes.
Wow. But they don't,
what about cult?
They don't get showers and power in any of these other burns, do they? I mean, we're really
but
spoiled.
Kiwi burn gets a river and forest bathing.
No, I understand. Yeah. No, that's true.
Forest bathing.
But the big burn, there's no river there.
No, I think you're right, though, Vida. You get people in who've been to the Nevada Regional. Yes, said it 3 times, 15 times or whatever, and they're like, oh.
But we're back over there. We do it like this. We do it like this. We do it like that. And you're like, you're here now, and this is how we do it.
They're just different things, right?
Yeah, totally.
They're just different things. Like Steven's sent me all sorts of fascinating articles about different burns in Asia, and some of them I look and I'm like, oh no, that's not a burn, but that's just me being burnier than thou. Everybody does it their own way.
Of course.
Well, how about cultural appropriation? It always comes up every year as well.
I don't know if it did this year. Did we escape that this year?
People dressed as Arabs that were.
Oh God, you're right. Sorry.
What?
Now it came up.
I didn't see any. Oh,
I didn't either. But there was a post about someone was disgruntled because they saw some people who they thought were costuming in keffiyehs as. It was unclear. The person who posted thought that they were culturally appropriating and being offensive to Arabs, and a number of commentators thought that they might just have been showing support, and I stopped reading at that point.
Oh, I didn't actually come across any of that this year. I thought it was minimal in regards to the South American headdresses and the but I mean, how far does that go again? Are the Egyptians in God Said No?
Well, there is one, actually. The theme camp lead of God Said No, hilariously, is actually Egyptian.
Oh, yeah.
Which
Karim.
I find so appropriate.
Fairly culturally appropriate.
He is not appropriating. He is actually Egyptian.
You might say it's fair enough.
George, man. You'd made it this far.
I had to get one.
Yeah, good one.
Well, how about this one, George? The photography and consent. So you mentioned the naked shoot that was fully consented amongst everybody.
Yeah, there was a huge.
Are we still having? Yeah, are we still having issues with just consent in general with photography? And with technology, I mean, it's pervasive now. I mean, think about in 10 years' time, it wouldn't have to be just a square or rectangle object. It'll be a wearable, and
Yeah,
how do
that's
you,
right.
or glasses or
People are
something.
wearing glasses. Yeah, that's right.
My
Yeah.
impression, much
address
like
that?
the appropriation of culture, is that it was better this year than in previous years. But I also didn't spend a lot of time in sound camps this year, so I've heard things about non-consensual photography that didn't. I think theme camps are cracking down on it more, which is great. But I mean, you're right, Steven. I don't know how you police that. I also
the new
think maybe
consent
people have
team
taken it a
has
bit
done
too
pretty
far.
well in that space a little bit as well, and like putting
Yeah,
some
yeah, yeah, yeah.
signing. Like we have taken a few steps and done some pre-event posts on all the socials, and we've got an actual consent team now that are running workshops during the event, telling people about this stuff. And yeah, you're right, theme camps are cracking down, and everyone, each one's teaching one. And like when I was talking to Gareth today, he was saying, our fire lead, he was saying, yeah, it was amazing this year. There was so much less of that. So
Yeah, I really think it's
that
been
was
better.
cool. Yeah, it's definitely, the word's getting out. Those big signage screens this year were pretty cool too. Like they'd kind of just reminding people about some of the key stuff.
Well, I was up early every morning, and what I thought was delightful was that a lot of the general camping people were up really early as well, taking photographs of art installations and cars and lovely buildings when there was no one around.
Oh, that's
Whereas
cool.
in previous burns, people would they would literally have their phone or their camera with them, and they would take photographs of everything with people around it. So yeah, this year, even if you look in the community, the community group on Facebook, there's so few photos taken where there's actually people who don't look like they want to be in photographs being photographed. So I think it is improving. I think we're learning.
And do you guys have special wristbands for people who don't want to be photos taken?
Funny you should
Not
say
this
that.
year.
At our nudist club, we've got the wristbands. If you're wearing a wristband, that means that the club photographer can take photos of you. So yeah, and if you're not wearing a wristband, you just can't appear in a photograph. But
You're right,
it's
Steve.
hard.
That's
Burns
actually
have done
dropped
that.
off as a thing. It's too kind of, I guess, hard to manage as a
I don't think it would
pre-registering
work.
thing, and like just
So Kiwiburn did it for a while where you don't have to pre-register. Everybody's given one at the gate. And then if you're feeling it in the moment, you can stick on the feel free to photograph me wristband. And then if you're not feeling it, you can take it off. And I liked that, but I don't know. I don't think it's a perfect solution, and I don't know that it will work in a crowd.
No.
yeah.
I don't know. The
And
Kiwi
and
burners
the
all seem to
reasoning-
love it. I don't know that it actually works that well.
And the reasoning behind no photos on the dance floor, some theme camps have adopted that.
Cosmo did that. I think Koasis did that as well, but I don't know if anybody else did. And they sounded like that worked. But then I've also heard pushback from people who were like, I'm here with my friends. I have their two faces in the shot. Why the fuck can't I take a photo of my best night ever on your dance floor? So I don't know how to fix that.
Yeah. It's a hard one for you.
Okay, and let's talk about the Naked Hippie Run. So had a few confusions. Are there any way we can actually improve this tradition?
Yeah, make it compulsory.
Yeah.
Everyone should get out there. Everyone should do it.
George,
it
you
was
said you
quite
don't
cold
do it.
this year, George. It's fucking
No, but
freezing.
If everyone did it, it's not exhibitionism. It's just participation then.
Yeah, but now you're violating my consent. You don't tell me when to get naked.
Yeah.
No, you turned up at one of our nude shoots and you very helpfully held people's clothes and you.
I did.
You know,
I just made friends with George and his delightful wife, and I loved them as human beings, and I accept their lifestyle, and they do not accept my lifestyle wearing clothes. And so we had a lot of debate over this, and they're on board now. But they invited me to the nude photo shoot, and I was like, well, that's cool, but I'm not getting naked. And they were like, oh, well, and I was like, well, that's cool. I'm not coming. So I did. I rocked up, and I was the sarong bitch. So I handed out sarongs to all of the naked people after their photo shoot, and I think we all enjoyed it.
Well, on that note, there has been talk about getting coat racks and having, if someone wanted to gift a coat racking system to the nudie run, that would be super helpful in making the.
Can you imagine?
How about
I
a
saw
ballet
that
as
post
well?
and I was
Ballet.
like,
Exactly. Like, what is that? But
I saw
you
that
know,
post and I was
why
like, adorable, good for you, have fun, don't talk to me.
yeah. I mean, yeah.
That was
there
what,
is a
'cause
lot.
everybody-
People should be.
I
everybody's
experienced
coats
as
were
the
being
event
jacked
manager
at the
Nudie
door.
Run. Exactly. Like I experienced this year as the event manager at the Nudie Run. People not being able to find their clothes afterwards, getting really cold, getting hypothermia, having to end up in medical because they couldn't find their clothes and got really cold and were having too much fun and couldn't get back to their camp at the other end of general camping and therefore were freezing their tits off, and that became a bad experience for them. So, you know, in regards to coat rack, that might be a nice thing, or just
All
someone
right,
would
if
have
I
gifted
ever
a lot
have
of
the
blankets
spoons-
to the people that couldn't find their clothes.
If
or
I ever
whatever.
have the spoons, I will again volunteer myself as like clothes holder for the naked people.
Yeah. Sounds like
Okay, so that settles it. We're gonna run anti-clockwise then. All you naked hippies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that just confused?
It'll get you
We're
warmer.
clockwise. Yeah.
They were too hot because the perimeter was too close. Then they were too cold because they couldn't find their clothes. Like, you can't help everybody.
All right, so that's the segment. Burnier than now. All right, let's talk about some travel tips. Some Kulin township. It takes 4 hours to get there. What should people go and see and do there?
Well,
Some travel tips.
well,
So many things.
there's a couple of things. Water slides, number one feature, and the beautiful story of the water slide and the Kulin community and why we love them so much. They're like a proper community. So the community actually fundraised themselves to get the money, doing a bunch of different events and stuff in the schools and stuff to get the money together. And then a bunch of them travelled over to Queensland to buy this water slide, packed it up into a shipping container, shipped it back, brought it to Kulin, built it in the aquatic park. And that's now like the coolest thing in town to do.
And it's the largest water slide in regional Western Australia.
Yeah. And so
I'm not kidding. Like, I actually think this is super cool.
it is so cool. And I just love how the town I love Kulin town because they're like a community like our Blaze community. Like, they all come together to do random shit, like buy a water slide, or, you know, we come together to do random shit, like put on Blazing Swan. So, you know, that's why we fit there. But yeah, so we'll do that. It's only open until the end of March. So if it's a late Blaze, you might not make it to go to the water slide. But yeah, if it's an early Blaze, we often do that when we're building site on days off, go out there and spend the afternoon on a day off having a bit of fun at the water slide. And yeah.
And as soon as you hit Kulin, you can stop at the pub, you can stop at the IGA. They always stock up for us. Then you take the right-hand turn, you pass the water slide, and then what happens, Vida?
You hit the 10-horse highway.
Yeah.
Again, another community venture as part of that excellent town, where every year at the Kulin Bush Races, which is the one other event that happens on our site, they have...
Has any one of you guys been?
I haven't.
God, no,
I can't believe I haven't, but I
I
haven't.
can't believe I haven't either. It's always a bad weekend. Maybe this year.
The
It looks
problem
so
is
much fun.
it sells out in like an hour. It's really hard to get a ticket. So
Yeah,
6
the way-
minutes
the way some
last
of the-
year. 6
Yeah,
minutes.
it wasn't
6
an
minutes,
hour.
yeah.
It was, yeah.
Mm.
Yep. So no, you can't get in. You
Yes.
can get in if you volunteer.
Yeah.
Like our theme camp leader, he volunteers. He cleans. He waits at tables and he cleans the toilets afterwards. So he gets a discounted ticket.
Does he go every year?
Yep. He loves it. He wants
Have
to
you
get us out there too. But yeah,
Okay.
he wants to sell his house in Albany and move to Kulin. That's how much he loves Kulin.
That doesn't surprise me. He would do that.
Yeah, no, he would. He
It
would.
is a lovely little town.
It is. So anyway,
It
So yeah,
is,
there's
it is.
every year at the Kulin Bush Races, they have a competition for the best tin horse. And then and so everyone in the community gets together, makes all these crazy different types of tin horses. And then whoever the
Yeah, but they're
judging panel
big.
are.
You have to make sense of it.
Yeah, like
They're
out of a
they're like
44
Australian,
gallon
yeah?
drum is the usual
Yeah, like
base.
they're big.
Yeah, big guys. So the winner
So you
of
drive down the highway to the site and you can see them in the paddocks.
yeah, I mean there's all sorts, isn't there? They did a sparkle pony in honor of us. This year's new
God,
one
did
was Ranga,
Raygun.
the break
Oh,
dancer.
God. That's amazing.
You've got the cops, you've got everything out there. But whoever
I
wins the
love
bush
the one
races,
stuck
tin
in
horse
a cop
competition
cart.
gets their horse on the highway, which is so fun. And yeah, there's even a little mini water slide as you're coming into town. So yeah, that's the best little scenic tour out to our site.
But there's other stuff as well. Like so those are the things that happen on the way to the actual site. But like it's only an hour from Wave Rock, which is one of the most impressive things I've seen in Australia. So I've known people who've been like, oh my God, I've been at Blaze for 4 days, and they've literally paid for a car pass out to go to Wave Rock, see Wave Rock, climb Wave Rock, eat at the pub, and come back. Because it's really quite close.
Yeah.
There's other cool shit out there on the way.
And then is it the Narrabeen Op Shop? Everyone goes on about that. Apparently it's the best regional op shop in WA as well. It's an hour drive.
I would debate that because the op shop in Ballingup is the best op shop on earth.
I reckon you might have a run for your money with this one, Nina. I reckon you might have to give it a crack next time.
This woman who runs it is the grumpiest cunt I've ever met, and she will let you rock up to her op shop. She will give you a bag, and she will say, you may fill this bag for $2.
Wow.
She will not be nice about it, but like, brilliant op shop.
Well, yeah, same with the Narrabeen one. Like, if you get there, I think it's only Saturday mornings or one particular morning a week, but if you get there at the right morning of the week, yeah, you got the garbage bag $2 fill vibe. So,
all right.
Yeah, you're going to give that a crack.
I'd also like to shout out the Courage and Roadhouse Wingdings. They're the second best in the state.
I'd say their sausage rolls are up there with the best as well.
I don't think I've had the sausage rolls. Their fried chicken's okay, but their wingdings, which they're always fucking out of, are the second best in this entire state, which is the size of Europe. So that's saying something.
What else goes on in town?
We could talk about the
pub's
so
great.
A number of people
they do a good surf and turf.
There's people who come from Kulin who've been attending Blaze for the entirety of Blaze, and some of them actually run like fundraisers in town. Like, do you remember when the primary school kids made steampunk hats and sold them to all the Blazers?
Yes, so cute.
Oh, so cute. They were doing
cute.
a fundraiser for the primary school, so they spent all year making steampunk hats. And then when the Blazers rolled through on the way to the event, you could go buy, like, a bit for your costume.
Hell yeah. That's cute. Why don't they still do that? I mean,
I don't know. I don't think they've done the steampunk in a few years.
I think there's only 4 kids in the school.
It might be that.
Well, they get a lot of money out of our rubbish then.
Well, but yeah, that's true. They come out, and on the last day of Blaze, when everybody's exodusing, they run a gold coin donation. And they take all our fucking trash away. So, less Kulin.
Yeah, so good. I think this year we raised $9,000 for the local primary school in doing.
Oh, that's great.
They do a little sausage sizzle as well, but they do charge a donation fee for all the rubbish that they collect on the way out. But just another little thing we do with the community is they run that, and then this year, after all costs, I think, they come up with about $9,000 towards the school, so that's pretty awesome.
That was collecting cans and the bottles.
Well, no, the cans and the bottles is a separate thing, done by the Lions Club and also the arts, the community arts. What's Erin's thing called?
It's Erin's Art Center.
The Kulin Arts.
Kulin Arts Network.
Yeah, Kulin Arts Network. That's it.
But the trash collection is different. They just set up a thing at the gate, and you can gold coin, or if you're going to dump something larger, more money. But it's a donation, and so they'll take, your garbage bags, or if you want to dump maybe not a couch, but larger items. They'll take that over, not to the tip, but to the actual dump point, and then they raise that money for the primary school.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a small town, for a small community, they actually do a lot.
They're really active.
I think so.
Amazing.
And a lot of them come out, some years I swear the whole town's fucking there. Because they can do like a cheaper day pass just to come out Saturday if they want to like bring the kids or just themselves and just see the effigy. They can do like a cheaper day pass.
Yeah, we do locals tickets at the Shire there, who are very supportive and really awesome. Yeah.
As well as the local ambos and local cops.
Oh, absolutely. Like we've got, I can't actually go on enough about how supportive the town is of our event. Like local cops are amazing. Like the little meetings that myself and a couple of committee go out to pre-event. We usually do 2 pre-event meetings with the cops, the council, the ambos, the fireys, and the bush racers and the landowners. We kind of all get together a couple of times a year before the event just to kind of workshop everything and talk about everything and all the nicest feedback. The meetings are always really great, but they always, it's a constructive conversation and they're really a part of it. So we're really lucky to have that kind of support in the community like that. But amazing.
Was it just my observation, or was there more police presence this year? We seemed to get the warnings that police were on site every single day. It was incredible.
Well, the thing about our event is it's the most interesting thing that happens in the wheatbelt since the bush races. So, everyone wants to come and have a look. So basically all the cops around the area are kind of interested to come and have a look and see how it runs. We've got a really good reputation for how we run things. So, they come, they have a look. We called them a couple of times because we needed them, and they're there for us like that. So that's cool. A couple of times they just came to check it out, see how it was going. But from my point of view as the event manager, they're on our side. Like they're not, we need them, and if they're there, it's kind of it's good. Makes people think, okay, this. As much as we like to escape into our own world, there are a few idiots every time that need to see that that's still reality. Like if behave yourselves, people. There's a bit of reality in the background going on, So I actually enjoy their presence. Yeah,
I do too. I also enjoy their presence, and I've kind of made it a point over the past maybe like 7-8 years to every event. I always want to talk to. Because Blaze hires medics usually, and they hire security usually, and obviously the cops come by sometimes, and I always make it a point to go talk to them when I can find them because it's just fascinating. Like, every security guy I've ever spoken to at Blaze has said this is the easiest job he's ever worked, and he will come back every single year until he's not allowed anymore because they love it.
Yeah.
The medics generally say the same. The cops say the same. They're like, sure, we need to call them sometimes, and they're always really decent and competent about it, but they just love it. They're like, there's no aggro, there's no whatever. I just get to watch, naked hippies having a good time. Everybody's friendly. People come up to chat to them. Like, some of them are a bit overwhelmed, particularly the trainee medics. But they just love it, and I love to see that it's making them happy on their job.
Yeah, well, the cops actually said to me during the event this year, over this Easter weekend, you guys are less of a concern to us than everyone in town. Like, they're like, you guys are less of a strain on us than town has been, like they're
in
just
the
like
Kulin town of 500 people.
Yeah, exactly. It's like 6 times as many of you guys out here, but town's causing more trouble than you guys. And I'm like, cool, that's nice. And then I have to leave.
Yeah, that's the way.
I mean, I hope Kulin's okay, but go us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's the way it should be for all the burns, all the major burns, because I think
that's one thing I think Blaze does really well.
Yeah, I think one thing they do see is not just the event or the festival itself. They also see the behind how there's a community, how there's a professional team. Although we're all volunteers and we're not. This is not what we do outside, but they can understand how we all come together.
I think that's a factor of a number of committees and a number of people like Vida having spent many, many, many years building a relationship with that town and with the cops out there and so forth. I think they, at this point, and I'm just saying this again as an outside observer, but I think at this point they trust this event.
Yeah.
It's not just some new thing that rolled in and they're like, oh, I don't know about you people, how you run this. Like, I think they generally trust Blaze to be better run and better organized and create less drama than other events.
And building that history and the whole reputation is immense as well.
It takes years.
But again, that's why I love Kulin, because they're their own little community. They kind of understand ours a little bit more than maybe another town might. You know?
Maybe other towns wouldn't be this way. Maybe it is just that Kulin's really special.
Yeah.
Okay, let's end by talking about why Blazing Swan. Why do you guys love it? Why do you guys return? What do you guys do? What you guys do?
Because Perth sucks ass, and it was the first place I found cool people. To be blunt.
But the difference between the other burns, like the Eastern State burns and Blazing Swan, it is unique. What's the magic behind it? I mean, obviously you guys and everyone else.
I think so. I mean, for me, like Nina says that she'd never met cool people and Perth sucks ass. But I've lived here all my life and I've met so many cool people, but in all different places and times and stuff. When Blazing Swan happened, all of the cool people in different groups I've ever met, like all came together and they're in one place. And I was like, oh, fuck yeah, that's sick. This is where I want to be. Like that was kind of like what made the magic for me. I hadn't seen people from my rave days at Amber when I was like 20 were there. And then people or whatever, you know, like all these people on the spectrum of my life.
Amber.
All came together. Amber. I was like,
we all love Northbridge.
Dude, Amber was amazing.
It was. Yeah. It's so
it really was.
You know, that's why I love it. And also, the comparison of after I went to Blaze, I was like, oh, I've got to see the big burn. I've got to see the big burn. And, you know, it's going to be amazing.
Have you been?
Yeah, I've been twice now. And, like, I went 2015 and 2017 after, you know, being exposed to Blaze in 2014. But I've been twice, like, searching for more and just I don't need to go anymore. We've got more than what, in my opinion, they have with our amazing community, with the fact that, like, you'll meet someone and you can actually see that person again and become lifelong friends and build something with them. And whereas you're at Burning Man, you meet someone, you'll never see them again. Like, you have
that's a lot of the reason I haven't bothered going to the Big Burn. I mean, there's the price and the logistics and the blah, blah, but, like, I could go. I'd go to see my parents back in the States, but everyone who talks about it, the art's amazing. I would love to see the art, but I don't want to go to a place where I meet the most amazing person I've ever met, and then I like going to Blaze where I meet the most amazing person I've ever met, and I absolutely will run into them at some point during the week. I like our size. I can't compare it to the East Coast burns because I've not been. I've only
bigger is not usually better.
Kiwi burn, and that was quite similar, but they're very different burns. I like them in different ways.
Yeah, and we've got the rock and we've got the lake, like our landscape and the land that we're on. There's something so bloody special about that. Like, it's just, especially if you're from Western Australia. Like, I'm just such a little wheatbelt West Australian country girl that I just think.
Like, I would take the Kiwi burn landscape. I prefer that. I thought it was just so fucking beautiful. And again, the forest bathing. But I think the community at Blazing Swan is world class. I love that.
Yeah. I
Plus, I met George there.
You guys are all.
How could I not come back to Blaze? It's where I met George and his lovely wife.
I was just going to say, you guys are also unique. You've all had this history of going to festivals and doofs and things, and so Blaze was just a progression. Blaze was our very first festival in 2016. I mean, look, I'm 66. And Blaze was what?
Do you mean
9
any
years
festival?
ago.
Like anything whatsoever?
Well, we went to like concerts and things, but nothing like Blaze. Nothing.
Oh no!
Nothing overnight, and nothing 3 or 4 days. Nothing 5 days. No, this is a very, very different experience. I mean, it was literally life changing. You know, we go to Blaze. I mean, I'm in court every day of the week when I'm working. But when you go to Blaze, it's like you've never lived before. You're meeting people and you're not arguing with people. They're just all like us. I mean, it's just incredible.
Now, George, you talked about Blaze having the space that really, caters for you being a nudist. Is there any other
There's no other
places or
place.
spaces? No?
No,
But
you have
do
to
so
join a
many
nudist club.
events. You
Mm.
guys
Yeah,
belong to
we
nudist
go out of
clubs.
our way.
You
We
do
travel to
nudist
Brisbane
events.
to do a photo shoot on a bridge, or we go to Queensland to to spend a week in a tropical paradise nudist resort. But these are all places that are set up for it. They're not like a community that welcomes people from all over the world and strangers.
You feel segregated.
Yeah, absolutely segregated. Yeah. No, I just love that people can come, go to Blaze, and you can be a musician. You can, you can be a pothead. You can be anything you like, and you'll all come together. We'll all have something in common, and it's quite a unique experience.
The lack of
I-
judgment. Whoever was you were saying this earlier.
Exactly, complete
love
lack
the
of
lack of
judgment.
judgment.
Yeah.
And the love of fire. Don't forget that.
Well, there's that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone loves to burn shit. I mean,
Yeah.
we're all after it deep down.
Well, you guys are also restricted by the fire bans, right? In
Yeah.
WA.
Not over
Absolutely.
Easter.
Not really.
What's the period?
Never over
What's the
Easter.
period?
It's always over
period
Easter.
is-
So
Yeah,
we're
well, that's the
always fine.
thing.
Well,
You have a
from
really good calendar.
December
Yeah.
right
Easter.
through to
Yeah.
April. Yeah.
No, it's usually through to mid-March. However, the Shire
times.
and the council, with our risk management plans and all the support we get from the fireys and all the equipment we have on site to be able to put out a fire, we can actually get an out-of-season permit anyway, which is what we had to do last year because it was so early last year. So we actually do occasionally fall into not total ban, but extended fire ban period. If it's total fire ban, we got no chance, but that's only December through to February. But March and April, if it's extended, we can actually apply for a permit to be able to burn anyway and haven't been rejected yet. So we've only done that 2 or 3 times, but we have that flexibility. So as long as you got the right risk management strategies and paperwork in on that stuff, usually we can get around it. Well, we have so far.
And there's certainly been years where the fire has been delayed because of weather or the burn has not happened because of inclement weather, but generally it's not been a problem. Or like this year, our fire lead instituted you need a mesh top to your burn barrel because some people had pushed the boundaries. But generally we can burn all the shit, and that is definitely a selling point for me.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky. I'd like to see more pyro effects and flamethrowers and all that cool stuff we used to have a few years ago.
Dude, I asked the art car lead this year. He literally sent out a message like, what does everyone want to see from art cars? And I was like, more fucking fire. And he wrote me back because he's very professional. And he was like, look, we're trying. There are rules and regulations. And I was like, I'm aware. So
we had
they're
2
trying
this
to
year
get
that
more
had
fire effects on the cars.
Yeah.
Fire Tribe wanted to do a flamethrower off the front of the car, but I was talking to a girl who built it and they couldn't pull it off. So maybe next year.
Yeah. It'd be cool if we could get a bit more of that stuff happening. I miss Frankie's thing with the big flaming. What was it called? His art car. It was so cool.
Do you remember the year what's his face brought the trebuchet and he flung flaming cannonballs into the salt lake?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was amazing. I saw
Frankie.
these flaming balls of cannonball being flung into something. So clearly I walked across the paddock to go see what in the fuck was happening. And I met him. What's his name? I've forgotten his name. Lovely guy. And he was like, I've built a trebuchet. And I was like, yes, you have. Do you want to help?
Colin.
And I was like, yes,
Colin the
yes, I
trebuchet,
do.
yes.
Colin. Yeah, it was Colin. And he was like, he gave me some flame retardant gloves, and he was like, I'm going to keep flinging balls of fuck knows what into the lake, and you can go retrieve them for me. And I was like, great, okay. It was like the coolest thing I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I keep coming back to Blaze, in the hopes that Colin will return with a trebuchet.
Oh, babe,
Never gonna
Colin
happen
passed
again.
away now.
I know, it's never going to happen again.
But hopefully
He was
someone...
lovely.
He was a legend. He also now has a street named after him.
He does, that's right. That was good of y'all to do.
Cool. Okay, so we also have dates for the decompression party.
The recombobulation?
That was just announced today, I saw.
Yeah.
It's, what is it, August? No, September
23rd of August, I think.
Last weekend in
23rd
August.
of August.
Yeah, 23rd of August. And usually that's when they announce the theme for next year as well. So that is when we shall await what Blazing Swan 2026 has in store for us.
There's no more exploding stars in the universe.
There always is. They're always doing that.
Yeah, there always is. You're right.
Yeah.
There's also always bats.
Yes, Bat Country.
Bat Country. Is it country or county? Bat Country.
Country. Have you not seen the movie?
Bat Country?
Jesus.
No, he just thought it was some bats floating around in Infinite Loop.
I can't believe I just said movie. Have you not read the book?
Yeah,
I live with a bat.
So George's wife's playa name is Bat Thing.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay, so let's do some shout outs. You guys got any particular shout outs?
I do. I didn't pressure you because I really didn't want you to ask the question, what was the best DJ set you saw? However, there was a best DJ set I saw, and it was Big Dread, Reggae, Aruma, Big Dread, Reggae, Aruma, more Reggae. It was epic. He is such a good DJ. He is such a nice guy. That set was fucking gold. We went on purpose. I missed Twisted Jaw. More Reggae at Blaze. That's my shout out.
Hell yeah. Well, I'm just going to shout out. I'm going to shout out to main man Louis, who, again, absolutely nailed it. Chairperson of the organisation, total bloody legend, and the rest of the committee. Absolute legends for everything they're doing, working all year round. I'm also going to shout out to Aruma for taking me out on the keg turtle for my night off. I'm going to shout out to Koasis for always being my soul tribe. I'm going to shout out to my best mate Holly for coming to site the day we landed till the day we left to support me, and all the other legends that were there for the whole time for setup and pat down.
I'd like to add, Louis gave the best post-Blaze congratulatory speech to the crew, the theme camps, the whatnot, at like the event is over dinner that I've ever heard, because I have never heard a human being say fuck more than me.
He's good at that.
It was glorious. He's really good at stirring the troops. I don't know how to phrase it. He's really good at motivating people and valuing people, and it was a really nice speech, and he did say fuck more than I do.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to give a shout out to a pair of guys who I'd never spent much time with at Blaze, Ollie and Admiral Wes. They took me on a midnight shift with them while they were cruising around, looking after people after the event had shut down. And those two are the most compassionate, caring guys I've ever met in my entire life. The way they dealt with situations where people who were a little bit under the weather was just heartwarming to see. I just saw a different side of these guys, and I was in awe of their calmness and their empathy and their humanity. It was just lovely to see. And on the same note, John Mack is another person who's of a similar mold. He's just a brilliant person. He loves Kulin. He spent so much of his time away from his family and home, and at Kulin volunteering, doing all sorts of things. It's just, I don't know how he does it. I don't know where he finds the energy all the time, but he's just an amazing human being. And my last shout out is to Vida. I have so much love and respect for all the work that Vida does. It wouldn't be a Blaze without Vida. I just see her everywhere, cruising around in her little car, and she's just always busy and always where the action is. I just have my heart just warms every time I see Vida. I know I'm going to be at a successful event.
Can I do one more? Do I get one more? Great, I'm having one more. I would love to do a shout out to George's wife, That Thing, who could not be with us tonight because she had other plans. She gave 100 billion% at Blaze this year. She always does. She's on Ranger Ops. She's a Black Swan Ranger. She gives other things. She attends my delightful event. She cares for everyone. She pushes herself further than she should, and we will try to stop her doing that, because she cares so much, and she is just like She's not even sappy sweet. She's just the nicest, snarkiest, most wonderful giving person on earth. You are lucky to have met her, and I am lucky to have her as a friend and at Blaze.
Oh, yeah, here. Yeah, she's
I'll
an
pass it on
amazing,
to her.
amazing black
She'll-
woman.
She'll love that. Yeah.
She'll hate that, and I don't care.
Oh,
Yeah, it takes a village to
it really does.
host this event.
It really does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually forgot about saying thank you and shouting out to all my other event managers that helped me fucking run that event. So thanks for reminding me about them, George.
No, that's all right.
Absolute bunch of legends. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Tim was out and about too. He was doing a marvellous job.
He's such a ledge.
Yeah,
Love every single one of
he
them.
is, yeah.
You mean
Yep.
Tim Filchon with the broken ribs?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, the man's on
He broke
committee,
his
he
ribs
still came
after
out.
event management training when we all got a little
He
bit
ran
high.
a theme camp. He
Wow.
And then he
broke
fell
his
over his washing basket after event management training a month before the event, and then had to come to the
He
event with
messaged
broken
me
ribs.
something, and I was bitching about something. He was like, "I'm sorry, I've been out. I broke my ribs," and I was like, "Oh, are you okay? I'm not gonna ask how you did that."
Yeah, things got a bit wild that night. Anyway,
Bless him.
yes.
So can we safely say that next year was better?
Yes.
Yeah, always.
Well, just keep
Good
on saying
full
it
circle.
because it's going to be true. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Thanks very much for coming on, guys. Thanks, Nina. Thanks, George.
Thanks
Vida.
for inviting us.
Yeah,
for
thanks,
having us.
Steve.
Yeah.
And PY.
See why?
Shout out to Vida's dog, so cute.
Punchy
Oh,
Sal.
Hello.
He wants his cuddles.
Cool.
Yeah, he looks ready for bed.
Yeah, it's that mommy.